and somehow they win. Somehow they win. Okay? That's what I want from you guys. I want that for you guys. And I think you want that too. I think you want that too. Okay? Now, I will tell you this. If you don't think we have that on this team, then just go out and do your best. Just go out and do your best. But if you think we have this on this team, okay, don't worry about your own accomplishment. You go out and play for one another. Okay? You draw strength for one another. Okay? And you give strength to one another. And you go out and you make this damn game something special in your freaking lives. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go play ball, fellas.
Welcome to Murfreesboro, Tennessee at Floyd Stadium. It's one of the fiercest rivalries in the Sun Belt. Middle Tennessee, home for Western Kentucky. Both these schools looking for their first conference win of the season. Middle comes in with a 1-3 record. Western Kentucky also looking for their first win of the season, 0-4 coming in. Alongside former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, I'm Anish Shroff. When we spoke to Rick Stockstill, the head coach for Middle Tennessee yesterday, he said, don't let the records fool you. Both these teams better than their records indicate. Both have lost a lot of close games in the early going. For Western, their bread and butter all season and even last year, it's the running game. It's Bobby Rainey.
And that's one of the best running backs in all of college football. He was the offensive player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference a season ago. And in this football contest last year, he carried the ball for almost 250 yards with 40-plus carries. Look for the Hilltoppers to call his number often tonight and try and repeat that type of productivity.
Western Kentucky, they're going to try to control the clock, keep the ball on the ground. Middle Tennessee, it's a spread offense. It's no huddle. They like to run at warp speed, and the trigger man is the sophomore junior college transfer, Logan Kilgore.
Yeah, they call him the California kid. He's got that type of smoothness about him. Almost makes the quarterback position look effortless. He's got great statistics since he's been here, and you see he's been playing his best football this part of the season. That's what you want from your trigger man, but he makes good decisions. He's got a quick release, and he's only been sacked 3 times all season.
Rick Stockstill, the head coach for Middle Tennessee, the former Florida State quarterback, 2-time Sun Belt Coach of the Year, 34-33 in his 6th season with the Blue Raiders. On the other sideline, Willie Taggart, head coach for Western Kentucky. His alma mater took over last year, 2-14. He was an all-time great for this Hilltopper program, one of 4 Hilltoppers to have his jersey retired. Middle Tennessee won the toss. They deferred, so Western Kentucky will receive. Big rivalry game in the Sun Belt. 62nd meeting all time. This rivalry dates back to 1914, and yes, both teams wearing their home uniforms. John Evans from his own end zone. And charges up past the 20, and we get our first look at Western Kentucky's offense. It's a West Coast offense. And the trigger man, K1 Jakes, the junior out of St. Augustine, Florida. He's a kid who can tuck it and run, and coaches say they want to see him play more instinctively.
Yeah, what you got to do is you got to work on that right there. 8 interceptions in a ball control type of offense will not get it done. You got to get a higher completion percentage, take the short intermediate pass, eliminate the turnovers, and then this offense will start performing better.
Quick screen on first down to Bo Brand. And Brand picks up 4 yards, the freshman out of Florida. Impact player for Western Kentucky. Wes Jeffries, preseason All-Sun Belt. He's a 5th-year senior on that offensive line for the Hilltoppers. And Eric Russell, safety for Middle Tennessee, leads the team in tackles. He shined in his first college start a few weeks ago in the season opener against Purdue. First carry of the game for Rainey. No, it's a play fake. And it's complete. That's the tight end, Jack Doyle. And he's in the Middle Tennessee territory. So Western Kentucky were expecting the run. We get the pass.
Yeah, they did a great job of moving Doyle in motion. You see him coming across your screen right there. Nice window. Good job by Jones, Jakes, of getting his shoulder square, delivering a strike. They want to get the ball to Jack Doyle. They said he's our best wide receiver we have. Doesn't matter that he plays tight end. He's got the best hands. He runs the best routes. He's our best receiver.
26 yards on that last play.
Something you're going to notice from Western Kentucky, they do a lot of shifts with their formation. They rarely come out and line up in the formation they're going to end up in.
And that's Rainey's first carry, and he gets it across the 45-yard line, a gain of 5 yards, 2nd and 5 on the play.
See, that's one of the shifts right there. So they start off with the balance to the left formation, then they change it up, bringing the guy in for motion. Then all of a sudden the defense is left guessing, hey, where's the strength of the offense? Where are they trying to attack? Are they going to the weak side? Are they going to the strong side? So they're going to try and keep this linebacker core from Middle Tennessee guessing all day. You see right there, 2 tight ends start up on the left, they shift to the right.
Jakes to throw again in traffic, and it's complete to Doyle. Gain of 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. So we expected Western Kentucky to come out, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Only one running play. It's been a lot of passing.
And they must have some faith in the arm of K'Wan Jakes if they can. If you can get the throwing game going, you can soften up the defense. Very tough to come out and just say, I'm going to run the ball on you no matter what you want to do. If you get a couple passes, you loosen it up for the running game.
There's Rainey. He's got a first down, and he's across the 35-yard line. And Western Kentucky continues to move the chains. It's Bobby Rainey, who led the FBS in rushing attempts a year ago.
You know, this is good old-fashioned power running. Follow the fullback there on the lead block. Fullback Kadeem Jones does a good job of beating the linebacker. Rainey makes himself elusive to hit, picks up the first down.
Impressive opening drive so far for the Hilltoppers. Rainey again, and he eludes the first defender, falls forward, got maybe a yard. 2nd and 9. It's Darren Davis on the stop.
You know, Darren Davis is, when we talk to the coaches, he's that linebacker. They say he's got to step up. He's got to be the senior leader. They've got a freshman middle linebacker that started with only 2 career starts. So they want Darren Davis to be the guy to identify the offensive coverage. What type of formation are they in? He should be the one to determine where the strong side is in the running game.
Toss to Rainey here on 2nd and 9. Rainey to the 31-yard line. He got 2 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. It's the corner, Kenneth Gilstrap, who came up to make the tackle.
Great team defense there with the speed. And, you know, the defensive philosophy for this Middle Tennessee defense is we're not going to let them run vertically on us. They're going to make them bounce it to the outside. And if they want to run sideline to sideline, we'll take it. But they're really going to try and eliminate the vertical running lanes.
Stopping Rainey is a challenge for this Middle Tennessee defensive line. This is a D-line that had 4 seniors last year. They basically lost all of their 2 deep to graduation. A lot of new faces up front. Play action. Jakes throwing long, and it's incomplete, well behind Joel German, the intended target. So 4th down coming up. And decision time for Willie Taggart. He's looking at about a 48-yard field goal attempt. Casey Tinius, the kicker, his long is 41 this year. He's 1 for 3 on field goals. And he was only 6 of 15 a year ago. But they'll try it from 48. Tinius's kick, well short, not even close. So a 48-yard field goal attempt is no good. Middle Tennessee will have the ball. We'll get a look at that spread no-huddle offense that Rick Stockstill likes when we come back. ESPNU's College Football Primetime is brought to you by Delta. Keep climbing. That's the Western Kentucky team coming into Floyd Stadium, and no, they're not wearing Middle Tennessee colors. Blue collar, that was the theme. They're here to do work. Willie Taggart wants his boys to get that first win of the season. 0-4 coming into play. Their first drive, 8 plays, 47 yards, ended in a missed field goal from 48, so it's Middle Tennessee ball from its own 31. Kilgore, quick strike on first down, and it's good for a first down. He finds Tavares Jefferson, the junior, and Middle moves the sticks on its first play from scrimmage. And Logan Kilmore, the sophomore from Rockland, California, former junior college transfer, the signal caller, finds Bia on the quick screen, a gain of 2 yards. Malcolm Bia, their go-to receiver, made that last catch. See what he's done for his career. Leads the team in receptions and receiving yards this season. And for Western Kentucky, their impact player, Xavier Boyd, one of their linebackers. He's a true sophomore, but coaches love his motor. There's Bia again. He's got some space, trying to shake a tackler, and he gets a first down across the 45-yard line of Western Kentucky. 14 yards on the play in Middle Tennessee into Hilltopper territory.
And every week we hear teams say we want a high-speed offense, a lot of tempo. They mean it. These plays are predetermined from the sideline.
No audibles.
They're not standing there waiting to see what they get. They call the play, they run it. They truly try and get 80-plus plays per game.
Kilgore, again, another completion. It's Jefferson, and he's to the 30-yard line. 13 yards, another first down.
And this is just a little pop pass right here. Middle of the field, wide open. Replace where the linebackers came from. Good, accurate throw by Kilgore.
They don't waste any time.
No, they're up there, and they really believe they're going to wear you down, and it works to their advantage.
Another throw, and this time Kilgore overshot his man, but a flag comes in at the end of the play. This is going to be against the defense.
That's a tough one. Now, I don't know how you can call a ball catchable that landed 3 yards out of the back of the end zone. You know, if I'm Western Kentucky, I'm going over there saying there's no way he had a chance of catching that ball.
The forward pass was not catchable. Therefore, there's no foul for defensive pass interference.
Jay Walker.
Yeah, that's one you got to do. You got to give your receiver an opportunity. Look where the ball's going to land. You see it there on the left side of your screen. That ball landed 3 yards out of the back of the end zone. Official's going to wave that off every single time.
So it's 2nd down and 10. First run of the game, William Pratcher. He picks up 7, so it's 3rd down and short. William Pratcher, the starting running back. Benny Cunningham will miss at least a month with a foot injury, and 2 flags come in on the back end of that last play. Officials huddling up at the 25-yard line. The flags were thrown after the play.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 4 defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal and automatic first down.
So that foul on Andrew Jackson, 5th nationally in tackles.
You know, pushing the guy's helmet down. Oh, then another push there. He got away with the first shove, pushing the guy's helmet down, but the second push right there, call that every time. You got to play between the whistles, young man.
So Middle Tennessee will have it at the Western Kentucky 13, 1st and 10. Kyle Griswold in the backfield.
Wildcat.
A little Wildcat. Nothing doing. Reggie Watley got the call. That was a jet sweep the coaches talked about.
And that's one where they're trying to attack the outside perimeter of the defense, but great job by Jared Clendenning, doing a good job making sure everything stays in front of him. That's one of those plays that's a new wrinkle to a spread offense, the jet sweep. You've got defensive ends that are trying to read the quarterback handoff. Well, they'll just give it to the running back right away.
Back to the air on 2nd down, and a completion inside the 10-yard line. 8 yards. Malcolm Bia his second catch of the game.
Well, this is a great double slant combination here. I want to give credit to the inside slide. His job is to run to be covered, opening up the second slant lane there. That's a great job there. You want one guy to run to be covered, wall off that linebacker, opening up the passing lane for the completion. Good team offense.
Kilgore 5 of 6 on the opening drive for Middle Tennessee. Western nearly jumped. Kilgore for the end zone. Incomplete, led his man by too much. He wanted the walk-on Anthony Amos, and there's a flag.
That came very late from the left side, like it might have been a defensive holding.
Pass interference, number 14 defense. Penalty is an awarded first down at the 2-yard line.
And that's another blue ring.
And that's what you can't do right there. You got a team already in your red zone. Don't give them a fresh set of downs. Giving them a first down from the 2-yard line. Even a spread offense that doesn't like to get physical should have the ability to pound the ball in there and pick up 2 yards on 3 plays.
9th play of the drive. On the ground, nothing doing.
Maybe I spoke too fast. If they try and run again, running that type of play, I don't know if they can handle them up front physically. I mean, look at the penetration done by this defensive front line. You've got 4 red jerseys behind the line of scrimmage. That's not how you shore up the short yardage running game.
That was Pratcher gobbled up by number 4, Andrew Jackson. Kilgore on 2nd and goal, takes it himself, and Middle Tennessee scores on its opening drive.
They brought the blitz, but they brought it from the wrong side. They brought it from the left side, leaving the right side vulnerable, allowing Kilgore to call his own number to pick up a touchdown.
So Logan Kilgore, last year they had a quarterback who could run it in Dwight Dasher. He'd been there for a few years. Coaches told us Kilgore's not that kind of running back. He's more, or not that type of quarterback. He's more of a thrower, but he's sneaky fast.
But he can run and he can get the job done when he calls his own number.
Gendro's kick is good. 10 plays, 69 yards. Logan Kilgore, the quarterback. A 2-yard run. Not 75. 7-0 Middle Tennessee. We're going to see 3 of the nation's best running backs on ESPNU this weekend. Georgia Tech's Orwin Smith as the Yellow Jackets take on Maryland. That's the early game. Then Pittsburgh and Rutgers' Ray Graham. Last Thursday, he ran all over South Florida. And then maybe the Heisman frontrunner at this point, Alabama's Trent Richardson. The second-ranked Tide home for Vandy. That's 7 Eastern on ESPNU. You can see all 3 of those games and all 3 of those running backs on ESPNU this Saturday. And there's Western Kentucky stud running back hiding behind some of the trees. Bobby Rainey, number 3, led the nation in rushing attempts last year. Was the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year a year ago. And Middle Tennessee remembers what he did to them last year. 45 rushes, 248 yards. John Evans from his own 3. And Evans to the 24-yard line. And that's where Western Kentucky will start. Talking about Bobby Rainey, only 3 active running backs have more career 100-yard games.
Yeah, he's keeping pretty good company. And keep in mind, he had a streak of, it was 14 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, and that was snapped last week versus the last week's opponent, Arkansas State, which surprised it because he got 100 yards versus Navy. And then you don't do it when you take on Arkansas State. So a little bit disappointing to see a streak snap, but he's in good company there. And I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Bobby Rainey on this upcoming series. I think they're
During the
using
return, face mask, number 8 on the kicking team. The penalty is 15 yards, first down.
Yeah, I think they used him more as a decoy during that first series. They did a lot of play action off of that. But I think he was open on a couple of those. So look for the Hilltoppers to get back to doing what they do best, and that's running Bobby Rainey.
So with the penalty, Western Kentucky will start at its own 40-yard line. Great starting field position. Here's Rainey. Gets around the edge and gets 3 yards on the play. Second down. Christian Henry on the stop.
A good job by Rainey of setting up his blocks there. See the vision there. This is a pulling guard, number 76. He set him up. Adam Smith allow the tackle to make contact, then rub off of him for the positive yardage. Good patience shown there. Rainey's a guy, not very big, 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighs about 200 pounds roughly, but he can do a lot of things on the football field. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run powerfully when he needs to. He can be a finesse back. He's got the total package.
Western shifts into a 4 wide, now empty backfield. Jakes to Rainey.
Good call.
Across midfield, and that's a first down for Western Kentucky.
I like this call a lot. It was a great job schematically of getting the mismatch they want. They sent Kadeem Jones, the fullback, in motion. He goes in motion. He's just going to be a lead blocker for Rainey out there on the edge. And once you get Rainey in space, he's going to make good things happen. So I like the fullback block right there. Sent him in motion. He knows how to find those linebackers, lead block. Good job of getting them down, and Rainey doing the rest.
As good of a running back as Rainey is, he's also the team's leader in receptions and receiving yards. And that's John Evans who comes in to spell Rainey with a nice run on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 4, a gain of 6.
A little bit of a change of pace, and Evans comes in with the fresh legs. You see he runs off the field. He's got a lot of step. He doesn't get a lot of carries, so he's got to make the most of it.
And he only got the 1 carry and then went right back to the sideline. Bobby Rainey back in.
We mentioned in the open, Bobby Rainey carried the ball 40-plus times in this football game a season ago, so I would expect to see a lot of Bobby Rainey in the rest of this football game.
Again, the shift. You're going to see a lot of that from Western throughout the game. And Rainey close to a first down, a gain of 3 yards to the 35. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
That's what you want from your star running back. Middle Tennessee did a great job of sniffing out the play. They had a linebacker run open through the gap, but Rainey, being the athlete that he is, made that linebacker miss, picked up positive yardage to make it 3rd and 1. When it easily could have been 3rd and 5 had he been tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
We just flashed Rainey's career numbers. What's impressive about that yards per carry, more than 5, the entire defense knows he's getting the ball. And he gets it. Actually, that's Kadeem Jones.
Fullback, you focus like you said.
Yeah,
everybody's thinking that Rainey's going to get it. Rainey's going to give it. Just a little quick dive handoff. Big fullback can make one guy miss. You can't arm tackle fullbacks. That's lesson 101 in football. If you're going to tackle a fullback, you got to put that shoulder on. You can't put that arm out there. They'll run through it all the time. And Kadeem Jones doing a good job of picking up the first down and then some.
That was just his 6th carry of the season. Back to Rainey. And he's to the 20-yard line, 5 yards on the play.
That's an impressive run right there, because Middle put 8 men around the line of scrimmage. They brought down that 4th guy to make the strong safety, and Rainey still able to find a lane in which to run and pick up 5 yards on first down. See, they've got it crowded in there. Very difficult to run against 8-man box, but I think because of the 2 tight end formation that Western Kentucky is using, that's kind of neutralizing the 4th linebacker that they're bringing into the game.
Rainey once more, and he's going to be tackled for a loss that time. So it'll bring up 3rd down.
If you're Middle, you got to be very careful to not overflow when Rainey touches that ball. There's a huge cutback lane available. And Western Kentucky doesn't mind giving you the handoff. You stop them one time, you think you've got it sniffed out. They're going to run that sweep. And before you know it, Rainey will cut against the grain and hit you for a big play.
Western Kentucky 2 for 3 on 3rd down so far in this game. They entered play just 36% on the season. And a timeout on the field by Western Kentucky. Willie Taggart using his first timeout to talk things over here on 3rd and 5. When we come back here in Murfreesboro, we get interactive. Our Twitter question, who's the best running back in the nation? Think about it. Seven 0 Middle Tennessee, 3:06 to go in the first. The Blue Raiders scoring on a quarterback keeper on their first drive. Our Twitter question, and you can get in on the conversation at ESPNU. Who's the best running back in the FBS? Western Kentucky's got a good one. The man you see there, Bobby Rainey. 8 rushes already in this game for 22 yards. And Western Kentucky faced with a 3rd and 5 on this drive. 6 runs, 1 pass. They'll throw. Jakes finds Rainey. He's got a first down inside the 10. 1st and goal, Western Kentucky.
Follow Bobby Rainey, you'll find the football sooner or later. Great job by Rainey after the play fake of becoming a receiver. You're going to see him come here, and then he's going to get lost in the wash. Good job there getting up in the wash, and then once you realize nobody's accounting for you because of the play action, he does a good job of becoming a receiver. Fake it, find a little hole, get lost in the wash. Great job by Jakes of buying some time, and Rainey picked up the big first down.
50 total yards for Rainey already. And he gets it here. Gets down to about the 2.5. Darren Davis made the tackle. 3 yards on the play.
We talked how rare it is in college football today to see quarterbacks underneath the center and power running games, West Coast offense. You know, one thing about running a West Coast offense, you've got to have those type of tools. Good tight end, and then you have a good running back that can catch the ball at the backfield. And when you run the football, you want to have a good fullback. And I think Western Kentucky's got a good one in Kadeem Jones. He's out there just absolutely laying out linebackers every chance he gets.
Willie Taggart, Western Kentucky's head coach, picked up the West Coast offense while he was an assistant at Stanford for Jim Harbaugh.
So follow Jones right now.
Rainey.
Great seal block.
Around the right side. Man, it looks like he is stopped just shy of the goal line. 3rd and goal coming up. Christian Henry saved the touchdown.
And that's where you wish Rainey had a little bit more mass to him. He looked like he was going to walk into the end zone. He got the good seal block from the fullback. That hole is there, but it doesn't have enough mass to get that body lean to cross the goal line. Good stop by the Blue Raiders.
The ball inside the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal. They go to the fullback. No signal yet. And now the signal is there. Touchdown, Western Kentucky, Kadeem Jones.
When you do some good blocks, how do we reward you? Give you a little dive, and you kind of saw that coming. Oh, he made it in there easily. He's at the bottom of that pile 3 yards deep. And we saw earlier when they had a 3rd and 1 situation, they gave it to him, and he took it for a 14-yard gain. This time all he needed was a yard, and he got it.
11 plays, 60 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown by the fullback, Kadeem Jones. Point after by Casey Tinius. And we're tied at 7, so both teams have been pretty good on offense here in the first quarter. Saturday morning, ESPNU previews a full day of college football at 9 a.m. Eastern. Aaron Andrews and David Pollack, part of the College Game Day crew built by the Home Depot. Then at 10 a.m. Eastern, a special college football version of Sports Nation. At 11, it's The Whip, the show that gets the latest from all the game sites just prior to kickoff. So Western Kentucky, they've shown they can move the ball on their first 2 drives. The first drive, they got down to the 31. It ended in a missed field goal from 48. This time, they're able to punch it in.
And they were helped out by the penalty on the kickoff. So they started off with great field position, only had 60 yards to go. And if a team is going to give you the ball on the 40-yard line, you want your offense to continue to walk away with points.
Let's revisit that Twitter question. The best running back in the FBS, looking at some of the Doak Walker candidates. The Doak Walker Award, of course, goes to the best running back in college football.
You know, and I think you've got everything that you want there. I mean, you want Trent Richardson, who's everybody's All-American, can get it done. If you like speed, And there's a lot of people like speed, then you're going with who, Anish? LaMichael James. I don't know if they get any faster. And the young pup of the group, you know, Marcus Lattimore. I think, you know, people kind of, because they lost the big game last week, he's a heck of a football player. He can really play and run that route.
Well, it's funny, LaMichael James, the one game where he didn't play so well was against LSU, #1 team in the nation, the best defense in the nation, arguably right up there with Alabama maybe. But that seems to hurt his stock.
It does, and you know, and now with college football, it seems like every loss and every bad game is magnified by 10 in today's college football world.
Eric Russell on the kickoff across the 25. Ball is loose, but covered up, and Russell may have been down already. 20-yard return. Of course, you can jump in on the conversation. ESPNU, at ESPNU is our Twitter handle.
And we talked about how a loss can really affect you. You and I, we were talking before the game about Heisman Trophy candidates. And one of the names that you don't hear as much about who's having a great season is Robert Griffin III.
One loss.
Doing a fantastic job. One loss, and all of a sudden he kind of falls off the radar for a while.
D.D. Kyle's out of the backfield. Andrew Jackson shoves him out of bounds, but not before a solid down 6 yards.
And Kyles is a guy that they says has unlimited potential. One of the biggest back on this Blue Raider offense. And they say, you know, you got to practice better. So he increased his practice habits, practicing well, being rewarded with game playing time with the injury to Cunningham.
Kyle's again, and he gets a first down at the 40-yard line.
You see there, just what you see is what you get. You come out looking for the pass, trying to find where it goes, and before you know it, Colin Boss and Brandon McElroy, the center and left guard for this Blue Raider offense, opening up holes.
Kilgore over the middle. It's complete on another first down. Anthony Amos, the walk-on, gains 13 yards. His second catch of the game, and Amos, the hero last week, the game-winning touchdown grab with 11 seconds left in the win against Memphis. First win of the season for Middle Tennessee. Kilgore going long. Wants Bia, it's incomplete.
Taking a shot, and that's what you've got to do as a quarterback. If you think you've got defensive backs that are sitting and squatting, even though that's just a long, incomplete pass, it sends a message. If you come up and play man-to-man coverage with no safety help over the top, if we catch a big play on you, we're going to hurt you. So often, that'll make the defense change their perspective, and they'll start playing zone coverage.
Incomplete, third down.
Good job by Ramel Lewis getting to the quarterback, getting a hit on the quarterback, Kilgore. We talked about the fact doesn't get hit off and gets rid of the ball quickly. Well, if Kilgore sets up and take a three-step drop and he's still holding on to the football, you rarely get a chance to put a pop on him. Put that pop on him, make him feel it a little bit.
Seeing hands on hips, a little early in the game for that.
That tempo is blistering down there.
Kilgore 7 of 10 so far, 67 yards, and he's run for the lone Middle Tennessee score.
They're bringing pressure.
Here's the blitz. Kilgore hit, and it's incomplete. Jared Clendenin getting through the line, and he was untouched up the middle.
Oh yeah, they were bringing the blitz there, so they lined him up there, and you've got the middle linebacker that's coming in there and blazes a great shot on him. That's what you want him to do. Clendenin lined up in the middle of the field by stunt. So they actually had 5 defensive linemen with Clendenin dressed up as a linebacker, even though he plays defensive end. Somebody comes scot-free, puts a hit on the quarterback.
Nate Toulson on to punt. John Evans back at his own 10-yard line. And Toulson's punt bounces at the 2 into the end zone for a touchback. And Western Kentucky will start at its own 20-yard line after 1 quarter. Middle Tennessee and Western tied at 7. Fierce Sun Belt rivalry. And we've got a good one early in Murfreesboro. Between quarters, that's a surfboard. It's going to the Middle Tennessee men's basketball team. They'll be hosting one of the regional sites for this year's Maui Invitational. That, of course, out in Hawaii, sponsored by EA Sports. And there is the local regional bracket, Belmont and Towson, and then Middle Tennessee will take on North Carolina Greensboro on November 19th. The consolation game and the championship game will be played the following day. First play of the second quarter, Western Kentucky from its own 20. Four yards for Bobby Rainey. Jimmy Staten made the tackle for Middle Tennessee. It'll bring up second down and 6.
And you can tell that Western Kentucky's real comfortable with the way that first quarter went. You know, the fact that Rainey got his touches. He carried the ball 10 times. He accounted for 55 yards of total offense there. And more importantly, I think they controlled that time of possession. They had it for 10 minutes and 50 seconds, limiting Middle Tennessee to only having the ball for 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
You expect Western Kentucky, regardless of the outcome, to control time of possession just because Middle Tennessee, they don't huddle, they don't call audibles. It's one play after another.
Yeah, I wouldn't get into a track meet with, with Usain Bolt. Somebody that you know can fly. So you got to be smart and try to say, hey, let's make this more of a distance race rather than a sprint up and down the field.
Willie Taggart using his second timeout here on the second play of the second quarter. And with 14-15 left, we'll step aside as well. Western and Middle all tied up at 7. Western Kentucky has had a scoring chance on each of its first 2 drives. First one resulted in a missed field goal, scored on the second. 2nd and 5 here. They'll throw, and K'Wan Jakes, that was dangerous, off his back foot, and not one red shirt in the vicinity of where that ball landed.
And he did a great job of just getting rid of that football. You had 2 Blue Raider defenders come off the line of scrimmage unblocked. Managed to get some pressure. That's Darren Davis, who we talked about, got to identify the formation. You see him come. He's not going for the fake. That's good team defense there by the Blue Raiders.
Western Kentucky runs a West Coast offense. Hear that term a lot in the NFL, not so much in college football.
Yeah, very difficult to teach. You've got to spend a lot of time in film study. Really take advantage of the short to intermediate passing game. Most college kids, they like to go vertical.
On third down, Jakes rolls out. He's got his fullback, Jones, and Kadeem Jones across the 40-yard line for a first down, 18 yards. And the Hilltoppers, 5 of 6 on third down so far.
And the key has been, when we talk to them, they want to try and keep Jakes in the pocket. But Jakes doesn't like to stay in that pocket when things get hot. So he's looking for a way to get outside the pocket. Then he can create. You see he's got a great line of vision right there to find Kadeem Jones in the flat all by his lonesome. Good job of keeping the vision downfield, recognizing where the rush was coming from, and more importantly, having that escape lane and where you can get out of the pocket from.
This is Keyshawn Simpson on first down, and Simpson dragging tacklers to the 47-yard line, a gain of 5 yards on the play. So Bobby Rainey getting, it's probably a quick breather. They don't keep him out too long.
I wouldn't either. Let him go, and wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that running back screen they set up. That play looked like it had potential somewhere down the road.
Middle Tennessee said the key on defense when Western Kentucky shifts to make sure they're aligned. Watch it here. Jakes steps up, and he's sacked. Darren Davis, 4-yard loss, third down coming up.
And this is just great team defense there. And you'll see Davis is going to try and get to the pressure to the quarterback. Stays at home, not going to run away from him. Good team defense by Davis, as well as Jawan Fennell, big number 97 there, helping out his linebacker.
This is a young and inexperienced Middle Tennessee defense. Davis, just one of 2 players that started every game a season ago. And they look to him not only to make plays, but to make sure the other guys are lined up. Bobby Rainey back in the game on 3rd down. Jakes is hit. The ball is loose. Still loose. And now a scrum for it. Middle Tennessee looked like they may have gotten it. And it is Middle Tennessee football, so the quarterback pressure results in a turnover, and Middle Tennessee gets the ball.
Yeah, what a great job by Leighton Gaskett coming off the edge on the blitz. And what I really like about him is after he makes the hit on the quarterback, you see there, helmet comes off. Now watch Leighton Gaskett. He sees the fumble. He's getting up trying to celebrate. His helmet's off. Watch him come back into the pile, try and get on the fumble without the helmet. Who needs a helmet when you're playing football? That's how you play linebacker.
That's a football player.
I always said to play linebacker, you have to have a half deck of cards. You got to be a little crazy to go in there and want to hit people every play. Good job by Leighton Gaskett.
A run here on 1st down.
Got him.
Cratcher finally goes down, but not before he gets across the 30. A gain of 5 yards.
And that's one of those plays where they want to try and test the perimeter. You think they're coming out doing zone read. They give it to Pratcher in full stride, trying to get to the edge, and they were just a shoestring away. See, they're expecting read. He finds a crease, and if that tackle wasn't made, that would have been a touchdown.
Kilgore to the air. He's got a receiver, but it's intercepted. Darius Brooks laying out for the pick. And on 3 plays, we've seen 2 turnovers.
Teaching point. What do we always say? Go get the ball at its highest point. One of these guys goes to get his highest point. The other's waiting for it to come to it. Darius Brooks did a good job of elevating, going airborne, snatching this ball out the air, while the Middle Tennessee wide receiver was waiting for the ball to come to him.
When we talked to Lance Guidry, Western Kentucky's defensive coordinator, he said Brooks might be the fastest player on the team. Recovery speed
and athleticism
is what you're seeing, yeah.
Recovery speed and athleticism, that's a big play.
So Western Kentucky turns it over, but no harm done. 2 plays later, Middle Tennessee gives it right back. We're still tied at 7. Each team scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Each team has turned it over early in the second, tied at 7 here in Murfreesboro. Our Twitter question on ESPNU was, who's the best running back in the FBS? Philip Hutter likes Marcus Lattimore of South Carolina. Evan Mitchell, Trent Richardson, no doubt he's a train. Bobby Rainey doesn't get talked about much because he's in the Sun Belt. He's a special one, though.
Yeah, he can. Anytime you rush for 1,000 yards, every time you go out there on the football season, for every season, you can get it done. He's going to lead Western Kentucky as one of the top running backs of all time there at that school. And you can see why. I like the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, good route runner, just a complete football player. He just lacks the size that those other guys have.
Western Kentucky will start from its own 1-yard line after the interception, and they go right up the middle to Kadeem Jones. He's the fullback, just looking for some breathing room. Didn't get much.
And I think this is the time of the game where you've got to do game management. You know, if you're Coach Willie Tanner, you're thinking, okay, we kept him out of the end zone. We had a great play. Let's make sure we use a little bit of clock. We don't want to have any incompletions right now to stop the clock. Use a little clock, take our time, and if we do punt the ball, maybe put ourselves in a position where we can slow down this Middle Tennessee offense. So I don't think you're going to see any pass plays here right now. Keep on digging, letting that clock tick, and see if you can pound out a couple of extra yards.
The quarterback, K1 Jakes, on the season, 3 TD passes, 8 interceptions. Here's Rainey, and he's to the 5-yard line, a gain of about 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Denzel Guerra on the stop.
Yeah, I like that play selection there. You got a running back that rushed for 1,600 yards a season ago. Good offensive line you feel comfortable with. Don't try and get too fancy. Line up, play power football, get yourself 3 extra yards. Now when you come up in this situation here, I would go with a very safe, conservative pass. Maybe trying a draw play or maybe a screen pass. Try and get Middle Tennessee being overly aggressive. But you definitely want to get a nice pass that you can have a high percentage of completing, and you can keep the clock running.
Jakes will throw. flushed out, and he throws it out of bounds in the direction of number 17, Dexter Haynes. So 4th down coming up, and Western Kentucky will have to kick from its own end zone.
And this is where teams like to be very aggressive.
And Middle Tennessee, this is their forte under Rick Stockstill. 18 block kicks since 2008. That's 2nd nationally.
They find a way to get their hands on the ball, but you can tell right now Western Kentucky's going to try and really spread them thin so they can see where the punt block is coming from.
They get the kick off. Eric Russell. Whew. Dangerous. Didn't fair catch it and pay the price. Middle Tennessee hangs on to the ball. It's a 41-yard punt. 0 on the return. Red Raider ball, Blue Raider ball near midfield. Eric Russell seen a little red. Welcome back to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, alongside former NFL quarterback Jay Walker and Anish Shroff. Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky all tied up at 7. Don't forget Saturday at noon on ESPNU, undefeated Georgia Tech plays host to Maryland. Georgia Tech 5-0. Orwin Smith and Tevin Washington leading that attack. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern, Alabama, number 2 in the nation, welcomes Vanderbilt to Tuscaloosa. Both Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky looking for their first conference win of the year. In Western's case, they're also looking for their first win of the season. Quick screen is caught by Sancho McDonald, but he lost a yard, so 2nd down and 11 coming up.
Great job by Ryan Beer from that strong safety position, not falling for the misdirection, recognizing the wide receiver screen, and making the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Look at the play selection. You can see the contrast in styles.
One of those teams wants to run the football. I think that's a Western Kentucky team. They want to run the football, and they're doing it.
Kilgore to the air, and that pass tipped. Andrew Jackson got his mitts on it, and it's 3rd and 11. Kyle Griswold, intended receiver.
Yeah, middle of the field's wide open. This is one of those throws you got to make firm, but with a little arc on it. Put it airborne. The safeties aren't going to come and make a big hit. Get that ball over the linebacker. That was a touchdown.
Jackson, one of the best linebackers in the conference. He's 5th in the nation in tackles. Kilgore with time, and he completes for a 1st down to McDonald. Nice pickup down to the 25-yard line, a gain of 21 yards. And McDonald down after the play.
Well, let's see, did he catch it? He's turning, and the ball was kind of moving the whole time he had it. Never seemed like he clearly had possession of it. Looked like at the end of that play, his head hit the turf kind of hard. Take a look there. Good look at Rick Stockstill, head coach here at Middle Tennessee, and what a great guy he is to be around. You know, I remember talking to him several years ago, and he talked about the direction he wanted this program to go. And this is the program that's not afraid to host big teams here or go on the road and play big teams. Took on Georgia Tech this season. You know, a year ago, remember they played Oklahoma, and they do home
they
and
had
home.
Minnesota here for their season opener a year ago. And Stockstill, I remember even when we talked to him last year, we called the Middle Tennessee-Minnesota game. He mentioned that he wanted to build something. I mean, he's a Bobby Bowden disciple, played for Bowden at Florida State, was a quarterback there in the early 80s, and was really one of the first guys to play on one of the first really good Florida State teams before they were what the Seminoles would become in the late 80s and the 90s. As Sancho McDonald comes off the field, and Stockstill had opportunities to leave last year, decided to stay, and he wants to build something here in Murfreesboro.
And that's what makes you believe him. You know, he had an opportunity to leave, but the fact that he said, no, I like what I'm building here, and I think we're going to grow, and he stays, You know, you got to respect the man of his word.
One-yard gain by Griswold on first down. The team's top running back, Ben Cunningham, is out, and he has a foot injury. Could miss at least a month. That's what we're hearing. So Kyle Griswold plays a little receiver. He'll get some reps in that backfield as well. Kilgore throwing, and he overshot his man, and a flag comes in. Tavares Jefferson was the intended receiver, but a penalty after the play. So pass interference on the defense. Now, an earlier penalty like this was waved off because the ball was deemed uncatchable.
Pass interference, number 15 defense. Penalty is an awarded first down at the spot of the foul.
That's another one of those looks where, you know, they're going to try and do the wheel route and try and get something here, but I'm looking to see where the ball landed again. You can tell that Kilgore got rid of it a little bit early.
You know what? You saw Ryan Beard just erase the receiver. Can't see it there, but Beard kind of knocked him down before he could finish his route.
Yeah, ball was in the air a little bit early, so.
Kilgore throwing, end zone, and it's overthrown. He wanted Bia.
So give the, you know, outside of the penalties, this Western Kentucky defense, I think, if you're Coach Taggart, you've got to be pleased with the effort that they've put out there. They've had a little bend, but they haven't broken yet, forcing Middle Tennessee to work for everything that they get. And down here, this part of the field, if they can eliminate the penalties, they'd be doing a much better job. But Middle Tennessee's having to work for everything they can get.
Kilgore to the air, picked off by Jackson. And the big middle linebacker takes it out past the 25 before he goes out of bounds. So Andrew Jackson, we've called his name a lot. Second turnover for Middle Tennessee as Western gets it right back.
Good athleticism by Jackson. You're going to see him right here, number 4 in the middle of your screen in red. Ball's up, just reading the quarterback's eyes. Snatches that ball out of the air, makes the catch, and gets a couple yards after that. Look at him right there. That's a great shot there of him reading the eyes of Logan Kilgore, following where he was going, and Kilgore took him to the ball, and Jackson was a good enough athlete to go and snatch that ball out of the air.
Lance Guidry, Western's defensive coordinator, I thought he put it best. He said, he's a kid that when you watch him on film after the games, he doesn't grade out well, but he's always making plays. Bobby Rainey on first down. And he's to the 33, 5 yards before Craig Allen brought him down.
It tells you the mindset of the different offensive philosophies. So often you see a team get a turnover. First thing they want to do is take a deep shot down the field. Not if you're Western Kentucky and your bread and butter is your running game. You come up with the interception. Next 2 or 3 plays, you're going to give the ball to Bobby Rainey.
Rainey once more. And he's getting close to a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and short, gain of 5.
We talk about the shifting that Western Kentucky likes to do. And take a look at number 76, Adam Smith here. They do a lot of pulling their guards around. He's going to come around here and force a wall. Misdirection, watch Rainey set him up nicely, gets a body on there, finds that lane to run through. That's a good job. So we talked about the formations, how they're making you think everything's going to the right, everything's going right. All they do is move one man to the left, and the right guard slips in there and creates the running lane for Bobby Rainey.
And that last run was good enough for a first down. Rainey, 3rd straight carry. He's across the 45 to the 46-yard line. 6 yards on the play. You look at Western's record, you say 0-4, but their season opener, they went toe-to-toe with an SEC team in Kentucky, lost 14-3, but they held Kentucky to just 75 yards of total offense through 3 quarters. Then they had a couple of letdowns. Couldn't stop Navy's triple option. Real letdown against an FCS team in Indiana State, losing 44-16 and then last week blew a fourth quarter lead against Arkansas State. So better than that record indicates. And a flag on the play, delay a game.
Before the snap, number 4 offense encroached on the neutral zone. The penalty's 5 yards, second down.
The play clock seemed to have run out, but it's a penalty against Western, so it'll bring up 2nd and 9 now. Rainey spin move, and he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down. Bobby Rainey, this is coming into the night among the all-time leaders in rushing yards at Western Kentucky. His head coach, number 2 on that all-time list, and Rainey has a chance, depending on what he does here in the second third of the season, the final 2/3 of the season, I should say, to get to that top spot. But Willie Taggart, almost 4,000 yards rushing. He did it as a quarterback.
Yeah, back in the good old days of the wishbone. He was a wishbone quarterback, where your quarterback was the first person to run the football out first. He was your first option. Then you gave the ball to running back. Not too many did it better than Willie Taggart.
Jakes will throw. It's to Rainey. What's new? Rainey slips a couple of tackles, and he gets to midfield, and he looks to have a first down.
That's why he's a special running back. That's why you like him. You get him out there in the backfield. I mean, he should be tackled, you know, for a 2 or 3 yard gain. Make the first guy miss, find out where the markers are, bounce off people, absorb the contact, keep the legs going, and will yourself to the first down. That's a great individual effort by Bobby Rainey.
Number 1 on the defense, Eric Russell, seemed to have him, but Rainey able to shake that initial tackle and get the first down.
They had him bottled. I mean, that's what you want. Force the quarterback to take the little check down, you know, for a 3 yard gain. They punt, but great individual effort by Bobby Rainey, and showing you what a true competitor he really is.
Charge to Middle Tennessee. This is their first time out of the half.
So Middle Tennessee uses its first time out of the half. They've got 2 left. 4:22 to play here in the first half in Murfreesboro. We're all tied up at 7.
Hey there, Dari Noka in our studio. Coming up on the Dell Halftime Report, Jason Sehorn, Charles Arbuckle join me. Discuss TCU. It looks like they're off to the Big 12. Their very latest coming from Andy Katz. Also, we look ahead to a Big 12 rivalry. Red River rivalry, Texas and OU. How does Texas slow down that OU passing game? And we break down Florida and Jeff Driscoll's first start against LSU, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Dari, here in Murfreesboro. 7-7, 4:22 to go in the first half. The former NFL quarterback Jay Walker, Anish Shroff, Rick Stockstill, head coach for Middle Tennessee, has watched Bobby Rainey, and more Bobby Rainey. Western Kentucky has run 33 plays, 19 have somehow involved all-conference running back Bobby Rainey.
See, sometimes things can get overcomplicated. Simplify it. Get the ball to your best football player and allow him to make plays.
Jakes on the run, throws, and it's into and out of the hands of Dexter Haynes. Second down coming up.
That's one there if you're the offensive staff for Western Kentucky. I wish Jakes would just take off and run with that football. He could have easily run for the first down and then some.
When we talked to the coaches, they said they wanted to see him do more of that. They encouraged him. They said sometimes he'll be too much of a robot in the pocket and wanted him to play more instinctively.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the perimeter open, you've got to take it. I don't know an offensive coordinator in the country that gets mad at a quarterback for moving the chains. You know, first downs, you make a living doing that. Whether you get it by running or throwing, they want you to take advantage.
This is Rainey, and he's got nowhere to go. Jawan Fennell leading the charge up front for the Blue Raiders.
They really put your team in a bind where on first down, pass plays called and you don't get the completion. You want to get Rainey his touches on second down. Everybody knows you want to get him the ball. Now you're putting yourself in 3rd and long, which is not what the Hilltoppers like.
Again, Rainey involved in 20 of the 35 plays run by Western Kentucky. 3rd and 11, passing down here. Here's the pressure. Jakes wanted Rainey. It's over his head, and it'll be 4th down. So even on the passing downs, they're looking at number 3.
Yeah, they tried the screen here, and they had the wall that they wanted in front of them, but penetration got there just a little bit too quick, forcing the throw from Jakes. He couldn't hold it for that half second longer, and missed opportunity by the Hilltoppers.
Hendricks break field to punt. Eric Russell back deep. And it's going to be downed, or is it going to be a touchback? It is going to be downed at the goal line by Western Kentucky.
A good job here. You see the recognition, and one guy can go ahead and oh yeah,
they got
cleanly
that.
done.
That was clean.
Great job by the Hilltopper coverage guy, not trying to swipe at that ball while he was in the end zone, allowing his teammate to grab it.
We've got high school football for you Friday on ESPNU. Valdosta, the Wildcats, taking on the Lowndes Vikings. Peach State High School football. It's all brought to you by Geico. ESPN High School Football Showcase, presented by Nike. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPNU. Middle Tennessee starts from about its own half-yard line. They'll run on 1st down, and they'll get a little bit of breathing room, 2 yards.
Ooh, that was scary there for the Blue Raiders.
Running out of the shotgun from that deep.
Shotgun on the one yard line, and you had penetration there by Western Kentucky. They just couldn't make the tackle for loss, which would have been a safety.
So 2nd and 9 after a 1-yard gain by William Pratcher. Pratcher again, and nowhere to go. Jamarcus Allen, big defensive tackle out of Orlando, Florida. And it's 3rd down and 9, no gain on the play.
And Jamarcus Allen plays that nose tackle position for Western Kentucky. Anytime you get those guys in the middle, you want those to be your run stoppers. Your 2 interior nose tackles, their responsibility, stop the running game. You normally rely on your defensive ends to become factors in the passing game.
Kilgore to the throw on 3rd down. He's going long. Middle of the field, incomplete. He wanted Bia.
Double covered here, but I think the thinking on this was if the ball's intercepted, it's just like a 50-yard punt anyway. And Bia showed you what type of speed he has. They had bracket coverage on him, somebody underneath and over the top, still managed to outrun the secondary.
So on 4th down, Nate Toulson and the punting unit comes on. And always got to be careful, especially from this end of the field. High snap, but a whistle.
Penalty flag, stop.
Before the snap, false start, 85 offense. Penalties half the distance to the goal, 4th down.
Can't really push it back that much further.
Yeah, but now this gets interesting because Western Kentucky had a return set up. Now you've got them backed up. You take that extra yard, and keep in mind a college punter is used to having 15 yards. Right now they've got about 12. I think now you change up your philosophy. You don't go for the return, you go for the block.
Western Kentucky seems to be doing just that. Toulson gets it off. Evans will let it bounce. It takes a Western Kentucky bounce, and the Hilltoppers, with 2:01 to go in the half, will start inside the Middle Tennessee 35-yard line. A 33-yard punt, no return, of course. Our Twitter question, who's the best running back in the FBS? We've got a vote for Trent Richardson, the animal. And then Chris Polk for UW coming on strong.
He's coming on strong. I'm a little surprised. We're the folks from Philly. I like Bernard Pierce. I think he's a solid running back from Temple. Where is he at on the list? Come on, Philly.
Bobby Rainey erased in the backfield. D'Arco Nolan gobbled him up.
Nolan from Atlanta, Georgia, and he's a guy that used to play defensive end his first 2 years. Now they moved him to that interior run stopping position, paying dividends for him there.
2nd and 16. 1:30 to go here in this first half. Bobby Rainey, he's been a workhorse. 18 carries so far in this first half. Empty backfield with a whistle and a flag.
They had the look they wanted to for that running back screen to Bobby Rainey on the perimeter.
For the snap, false start, 82 offense. Penalties 5 yards, 2nd down.
That's the tight end, Jack Doyle. Big opportunity here for Western Kentucky to take the lead before halftime. This is a team that 2 years ago didn't win a single football game. Had a 26-game losing streak that they snapped last year. Won 2 games a year ago, searching for win number 1 in 2011. Play action. Jakes throws. He's got Doyle, and the tight end makes amends. It'll bring up 3rd down. 13 yards on the play.
Good play action there, and get the ball to Doyle there. He's their best wide receiver. One-on-one with the linebacker. He's going to win that matchup. Ball's thrown in stride. Good play selection. But something you want to see from Jakes right now is clock management. You know, Western Kentucky's already used 2 timeouts. They've got 1 left. You've got 53 seconds on that clock. So you want your team to pick up the tempo just a little bit in terms of if you convert this 3rd down.
They need to get to the 24-yard line. They'll run it. It's Rainey. Gets the corner, and he's out of bounds at around the 30-yard line. He got 4. They needed 8, so it's 4th down. And remember, earlier in this game, Casey Tinius, the kicker for Western Kentucky, missed a 48-yard field goal. Right now, they're looking at about 46.
And it's not.
And that 48-yarder was well short.
It wasn't even close. That's why I'm surprised at the call right now. They weren't even close converting that. Now they're going to go for it. Take a look, see what happens.
He's just 1 for 4 on the season, and again, he already missed from 48. From 46, and that is wide. So Tinius has missed 2 field goals in the first half, and Western Kentucky unable to take the lead.
You know, although I'm surprised they went for it, I think the choice was made with the play selection on the previous play. You know, you've got the ball 3rd and 8. You decide to run, trying to pick up those 3 or 4 extra yards in order to get yourself a better chance at the field goal opportunity. So predetermined call by Coach Taggart and staff didn't pay off for them.
All right, Jay, with 44 seconds now, we know how quickly Middle Tennessee can get up and down the field. They've got 2 timeouts. They can still score, or at the very least get into field goal range.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Middle Tennessee, you're stepping on the gas pedal trying to run your 2-minute offense.
Kilgore nearly threw his 3rd pick of the half. Kenny Martin was right there, just dropped it.
Yeah, that's something you got to learn to throw that ball away. If the defensive lineman figures out that you've got the screen going, good recognition. See, they see it going. He's looking for the ball right now. He became the open receiver, and Kilgore almost threw it right to him.
He catches that, he's gone.
And that's that learning curve. I think something we haven't really discussed is Logan Kilgore hasn't played a lot of football. He didn't play at all while he was in high school.
He didn't start.
Didn't start. Then he went to a junior college for a year, then came here. So it's not a guy that's played many games, and you get better with more repetition.
Little draw play. And D.D. Kyles gets a couple.
But that's a good story. I like that. You know, didn't get an opportunity to start at quarterback at high school. Went to junior college. That's what it's there for. Then, because he was a qualifier, was able to come here last season. Was expected to not play at all behind, you know, All-American candidate Dwight Dasher. Dasher goes down. Kilgore.
He was suspended early, and Kilgore ends up starting the season opener.
Yeah, he played a couple games, and then he gets injured, so he gets a red shirt, and then he gets his sophomore season this year.
And we will go into halftime with the score tied at 7. Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky, both teams had some chances. The Blue Raiders, a couple of costly turnovers. Western Kentucky missing a couple of field goals. 7-7 your score at the half. Let's get it to the Sports Center U studio and Dari Noka.
Welcome to the Dell Halftime Report.
All right, so we got a good one there in Murfreesboro. Dell Halftime Report. Welcome in, Dari Noka, former New York Giant, USC Trojan Jason Sehorn, former NFLer / UCLA Bruin Charles Arbuckle, but we let them sit next to each other just in case there's any USC-UCLA fireworks. There is some news to discuss today.
Fireworks?
And it's big news. There may be some in Fort Worth because the Big 12 has officially invited, or has paved the way to officially invite TCU to join its league. See, the invitation is there. It is official. It's there. TCU is holding a meeting on Friday to discuss this possibility, but my goodness, it sure seems like this is
formality,
all but done. It certainly has that feeling, and quite frankly, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't they go? Here are the thoughts of TCU Chancellor Victor Bocchini Jr. These discussions with the Big 12 have huge implications for TCU. It will allow us to return to old rivalries, something our fans and others have been advocating for many years. As always, we must consider what's best for TCU and our student athletes in this ever-changing landscape of college athletics. We look forward to continuing these discussions with the Big 12. Time now to welcome in ESPN's Andy Katz. Andy, how much of a done deal is TCU to the Big 12?
It's just a formality. I mean, TCU's board of directors will vote to accept the invitation from the Big 12. I mean, this is their dream scenario because they always wanted to be back in the good graces with Texas, obviously playing also Texas Tech, Baylor. This is a home run for TCU. It legitimizes them, gives them even more credibility a year after they won the Rose Bowl, had an undefeated season, gets them into an AQ conference, one that's stable, believe it or not, more than the Big East. This is just a matter of time, and the fact that Texas gave up some granted rights to the Tier 1 and Tier 2, obviously made some concessions with the Longhorn Network, with the high school highlights. Texas has now accepted the fact that TCU can come into the league and really has accepted TCU as an equal partner.
Now, there's also some news, though, coming today from Missouri's perspective. What's the latest on Mizzou, who has been mentioned as a school that may leave the Big 12?
Well, the Board of Curators gave Brady Eaton, their chancellor, the opportunity to look at other conferences, and they're looking at the SEC, obviously. And Missouri abstained from voting with the granted rights vote that the Big 12 Board of Directors had. They also abstained from the expansion vote in adding TCU. So all signs are pointing toward the SEC, assuming the SEC wants them. All sources have told me that that is the direction they want to do because it's a new market. It allows them to get to 14. It's an AAU member, which is important to them on the academic side. So if that happens, then the Big 12 will look at what they want to do next. Because right now we're in a holding pattern, and the Big 12 has to decide, do they want to be a 10-team league, which Texas kind of favors, or a 12-team league, which Oklahoma favors? Well, if Missouri stays, then you're at 10 because you just added TCU because you're losing Texas A&M. If they leave, then do you have to add 3 more to get up to 12? That's the discussions that are going on right now with the Big 12. And Louisville and West Virginia, they're next up on the docket. BYU's in that mix, but everything I've been told is that BYU would rather stay independent football if they can with their other sports in the WCC. So it could be very interesting for the Big East next if Louisville and West Virginia are in play for the Big 12.
Andy, real quick, Big East, next schools they look at if they're going to expand.
Problem for the Big East is they don't know who's going to be in their membership, so they don't know if they can even expand right now because they don't know if those teams want to be in the Big East because they don't know what it's going to become. Those teams that everyone mentioned, the military academies, East Carolina, Central Florida, they're right now holding back to say, what are we going to join if we want to join the Big East?
Thank you, sir. Andy Katz, always appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we know Andy's been all over this for weeks, not necessarily TCU, but conference movement, expansion, and realignment. Head spinning a little bit.
Wow.
All right. Well, then answer this, because I'll keep it simple here. How good a deal is this for both sides?
Oh, it's a no-brainer for both, TCU and the Big 12. You get a team in Texas to stay in Texas. They don't have to play in the Big East and take road trips for all their other sports against teams like Connecticut and Pittsburgh and Rutgers. They get to stay home. And it's also a boon for Big 12 because it's another Texas school.
Well, guys, I just look at it like this. We focus so much on celebrity prenuptials. Now we have to go conference prenuptials because they paid $5 million, never made it to the offer. So, hey, I love it. If you can do that, we'll focus on that. The marriage didn't last very long. The honeymoon is over. The Big East is losing out. And it's a problem for the Big East because now they're starting to see some trickle-down effect. Pittsburgh, where are they going?
Yes.
Syracuse, where are they going? I mean, it's a lot going on, guys.
It's all about football, but the Big East is a basketball league.
Yes.
It avoids heartache there because TCU ain't bringing basketball tradition and power.
Do they get the money back for the honeymoon?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. All right, how about this? Speaking of Big 12, OU Texas Saturday in Dallas. Both teams undefeated. Texas moving on up the polls with that two-quarterback system. We're going to talk about them in a minute with Seahorn. But Charles Arbuckle, OU, we know what they're about. How do you like their offense against Texas?
I love their offense, Dari, but I think if you really look deeper in these games, where the last 6 years, when Oklahoma has lost 4 of those games and won 2, the biggest difference for me has been their run differential. When they've been able to run the football, 147-yard average in those 2 wins, 58.3 in those 2 losses, and I think that's the key. Texas has outgained them in their 4 wins. So I think when you look at that, that's a key part of what we're talking about here. They have to run the football effectively. That's what they committed to in the offseason.
And they've been able to do that so far in the early part of the season. Jason, you look at Texas, 2-quarterback system. How does that present itself?
That's a bit of an unknown for Oklahoma, and I think the advantage is to Texas. And not that I think they're going to win the football game, but as far as game planning goes, Oklahoma has the onus on them to try to figure out what Texas is doing on offense, whereas Texas gets to spend the entire week focusing on exactly what Landry Jones, Ryan Broyles, and this offense do. There's nothing that they don't know about that offense, whereas Oklahoma has to try to guess what's coming next. What are they going to do? How are they going to game plan us? And remember, in these rivalry games, you can, they say it all the time, you can kind of throw the statistics out because when you're talking about young kids, they just play.
The turnover margin has been a key point of it, too.
Yep.
I mean, when you look at it, points off a turnover margin has been a little bit different. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, no question. All right, so hey, we got other big games to talk about, too. We're going to do that in just a moment. And we'll look ahead to Florida and LSU. Florida going in shorthanded. I tell you what, gentlemen, if I'm Jeff Driscoll, I am shaking in my boots right about now. We're back.
This halftime report is powered by Dell, the power to do more.
Dari Noka, Jason Seahorn, and Charles Arbuckle back with you. Another big one on Saturday in the SEC. Number 1 LSU taking on the Florida Gators. And the big story coming in, John Brantley not playing for Florida. He's injured, got hurt last week against Alabama. So in comes freshman Jeff Driscoll. And if you're LSU's defense, Jason Seahorn, what are you thinking?
You are thinking you're a shark and there's blood in the water. And you are swarming. Right now, you are salivating at the opportunity to take on a true freshman. Okay, with this defense, I mean, you think about the front 4 they have, the pressure they can create with that front 4. They are going to come after this kid. I promise you, pressure will be the name of the game against Florida this week.
If you're Florida, Buck, what do you have to do to win this game? Is it even possible?
You better keep Tyrann Mathieu off the honey badger away from you. But you've got to run the football. You've got to protect your young guy in Jeff Driscoll. And I think Chris Rainey is a prime example. In the games leading up to Alabama, 156 yards per game from scrimmage versus Bama, 36 yards from scrimmage. So when you have Rainey playing well and Jeff Dents, that helps a young quarterback. They also need some things on special teams to happen for them against LSU. LSU, we know their offense sometimes is suspect.
Sometimes?
Yeah, and they start off strong and they play well, but it's interesting to see what their chemistry will be like LSU. Florida, I'm interested to see how they play.
Maybe Florida's defense can keep them around long enough. We will see. All right, that's Logan Kilgore. He's the quarterback in Middle Tennessee. We got a 7-7 football game. Second half not far off. The 3 of us back in a moment, like it or not. We have a 7-7 football game. Kadeem Jones, Western Kentucky, into the end zone as we welcome you back to the Dell Halftime Report. Don't forget, Saturday, a big day of college football on ESPN. Look, think of the running backs you're going to get to see. Georgia Tech's Orwin Smith, the #1 rushing attack in the country as a team. Pitt's Ray Graham, who leads the country in rushing yards. And Alabama's Trent Richardson, who might just win a Heisman Trophy.
What about Eddie Lacy?
And Eddie Lacy, too. Thank you.
Leave no stone unturned.
Thank you, Buck. Andrew Jackson with the interception. Some might call him the president. I do. 7-7. Back that way in a moment.
This halftime report is powered by Dell, the power to do more.
Well, Middle Tennessee near the goal line, but Darius Brooks with a great grab. That keeps it a 7-7 game. That's where we are now. You're headed to Tennessee next.
You know what? And what else those teams do? They find a way to make winning plays. They find a way to make winning plays, and somehow they win. Okay? That's what I want from you guys. I want that for you guys. And I think you want that too.
Well, two big first-half interceptions by Western Kentucky. Those count as winning plays. And the 0-4 Hilltoppers all tied up at 7 with Middle Tennessee at the half with Jay Walker, Imani Schroff, and this Western Kentucky defense, which actually played really well against Kentucky in the season opener, has done a good job of bottling up an explosive Middle Tennessee offense in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, when you talk about the Blue Raider offense from Middle Tennessee, they came into tonight's contest averaging over 450 yards total offense. In the first half tonight, they've been limited to just 108 yards total offense. So regardless of the interceptions that they've created, this Western Kentucky defense is doing an excellent job against a very explosive offense.
And in that first half, Western Kentucky had the ball for more than 21 minutes. How do you control time of possession? You control the ground game, and that's Bobby Rainey.
Yeah, heavy dose of Bobby Rainey. In this game a year ago, he had 45 carries. Tonight, he's got 19 on his pace in the second half. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of Bobby Rainey, but what you got to look out for is the fact that although Middle Tennessee's doing a good job right now, bottling them up, averaging only 2.5 yards per carry, an explosive back like that, if he keeps touching the football, the offensive line is going to wear down the defensive line for Middle Tennessee. If that time of possession stays where it is, I look for Bobby Rainey to have a breakout second half.
Besides those 48 rushing yards, Rainey also has 35 receiving yards, but it'll be Middle Tennessee to receive to start the third quarter, all tied up at 7. Rivalry game, both teams wearing their home unis here in Murfreesboro. Both teams seeking their first conference win, and Western Kentucky, of course, seeking its first win as well on the season. They're 0-4 entering play. Eric Russell and Tyler Mason deep for Middle Tennessee. And it's Russell. Spun down at the 25-yard line, and that's where Middle Tennessee starts here in this third quarter. So we get to see this Blue Raider offense, which had a couple of turnovers in the first half, a couple of interceptions by the quarterbacks. Logan Kilgore started strong and then couldn't quite find his accuracy in that second quarter.
And they had some opportunities to put points on the board. Great interception by Darius Brooks for Western Kentucky, kept them out the end zone on a ball that you thought maybe the receiver should have come back for and lead them a little bit more. So I would say the offense for Middle Tennessee hasn't been bad. It just hasn't been up to par, up to speed like they normally are.
Run on first down. This is Pratcher making Dede Kyles, and he gets about 3. It'll bring up second down.
One of the adjustments being made, I think that Coach Stockstill's realized that Western Kentucky's holding on to the football. We can come out and throw all day long, but our time of possession won't be there. They're showing you a little ground game. Maybe they can eat up some clock.
McDonald on that quick screen, and he's close to a first down. And he's got a first down, looks like.
Well, McDonald and Malcolm Bia, those are guys who just eat up receptions. Each of them have over 80 receptions in their career. Not particularly flashy, but efficient.
Again, with that no huddle, it's Kyles He gets a yard. 2nd down and 9. Jamarcus Allen on the stop.
Jamarcus Allen made the stop, but Andrew Jackson's been physical all day. Watch number 4. This is, if you're a linebacker, this is how you go to the hole. You go in there, head down, clog up the hole, make the running back run around you. Andrew Jackson's played himself a whale of a football game tonight.
Kilgore under pressure. Rolling out, throws on the run, and it skips past his intended target.
And applying the pressure, once again, Andrew Jackson. You see him there watching the quarterback's eyes, Okay, you want to run? Okay, I'm going to come out. Better not. You know what he's saying? You better not hold on to that football. They talk trash down there on that field, Anish. They'll tell you stuff like, you better got rid of it.
Andrew Jackson had a big first half, interception, broke up a couple of plays in the passing game, in on quite a few stops as well.
Well, you got to think Middle Tennessee is going to take advantage of the middle of the field being wide open. They're trying to disguise his own coverage, but I think they saw it.
Kilgore with time and complete. No, it's dropped. Tavares Jefferson had it. Would have been a big gain. Instead, it's 4th down.
And that's one there. That was a big crowd of Hilltopper defenders there where he went with the football. You know, middle of the field was open right there. You got to take advantage. Watch this. Middle of the field wide open. They don't get to it. He chooses to go away from it. That would have been a big play. You see him running, got his man beat by a step in the middle of the field. Bad read by Logan Kilgore.
Toulson to punt. John Evans from his own 18. A lot of moves, but not much forward yardage. 43-yard punt, 3-yard return. Western Kentucky 0-4, but the fact they're in this game, that's nothing new for them. Head coach Willie Taggart talked about that in the papers today. This is a team that they've lost a lot of close games. Sometimes that's the last step for a team before they figure out winning is how to finish other teams off. And here's what Taggart said. A lot of those close losses just come down to a mentality. Going into those games, our guys have to say, it's win these. And that's the key for Western Kentucky is it's incomplete on 1st down. This is a team, since the start of last year, they've been tied or leading entering the 4th quarter of 6 of 9 conference games. And again, they've only won 2 games in the last 2+ years. And again, Taggart saying we're going to win instead of let's try not to lose. And good teams know how to do that.
You often hear that winning is contagious. Well, guess what? Losing is too. And once you start going down that slope of losing, expecting to lose, then you'll continue to lose.
Jakes to his tight end Doyle. Doyle bulldozes a man and he gets to the 29. Pickup of 8. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. And again, as we just mentioned, you see how many times Western Kentucky has had a chance. But then you look at their numbers, 0-9 or 0-12 in 2009. 2 wins last year, winless so far this year. And this is a team we should mention. It's just their 3rd full year as an FBS program. They'll throw on 3rd and 2. Jakes. Now he's going to run for it, and he appears to have the 1st down.
See, this is one here when you're Jakes, you got to take a look and realize the down and distance in the situation. Find a seam in which you can run, get that head down, and you got to fight for every yard you can get to ensure that you get the 1st down.
But the block by Rainey.
If you're built low to the ground, take them down low, get them off their feet. That's a good job.
Western Kentucky now 7 of 12 on 3rd down in this game. Jakes comes out throwing again. And did that stay up long enough for Middle Tennessee to come down with it? No. Dexter Haynes, a little juggling act along that near sideline.
I mean, this is a quick out route. You throw it every day in practice. Yeah, ball hit the ground there, but we talked earlier about the West Coast offense, what you need to have. I said that short to intermediate passing game. You get that much cushion on air, you've got to hit that throw 99% of the time. 5-yard out route is basic for college football.
And K1 Jakes, the quarterback, he wasn't recruited for a West Coast offense. He was recruited to run a spread offense.
But I say a spread West Coast option, you got to be able to hit a 5-yard out.
Was an incomplete pass. The previous play is under further review.
So they'll review that last play. Looked incomplete from what we saw.
It looked like the initial catch was a trap on the ground.
Yeah. I guess the question is, did it actually touch the ground when Haynes bobbled it? But from here, it looks like it did.
Yeah, this is the look right here. As you'll see it, he's going to go and he's going to lean that right shoulder.
There,
Ball's on the ground.
Yep, that's incomplete.
Yeah, but you know, we talk about, I mean, that's the simplest route you're going to get. The defensive back playing 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Your wide receivers running 5 yards and out. You know, efficient quarterbacks hit that pass with their eyes closed almost. You know, if you want to be a good West Coast quarterback and get that completion percentage up, you know, that's got to be like stealing candy from a baby right there. You got to be able to do that all day, all night long.
Jakes began the year as the starter, lost his job briefly, and then got it back when his backup went down with an injury. And the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is an incomplete pass, as we saw. So 2nd and 10. Seeing a lot more passing from Western Kentucky to start this 3rd quarter. Now it's back to the ground game, but Rainey bottled up for a loss of 3. Gorby Lorius called his name a few times, getting in the backfield.
You know, something that we've seen Western Kentucky do is have those pulling guards. So they've been pulling their linemen with this strong right formation, coming back left, or either strong left and trying to run the counter back right. Great adjustment there by Middle Tennessee, not falling for it and running down Rainey from the back.
3 receivers now on 3rd and long. Jakes under pressure. Here's Rainey. Got a little bit of space. And Rainey's going to be very close to a 1st down.
Wasn't the prettiest screen we've seen, but it worked. It ended up getting there. You see Rainey go there, get lost, come around. Good job by Jakes of getting the pass off and downfield blocking there. And had Rainey been able to get back to the middle, would have picked up the 1st down. See, look at the set, 1,001, 1,002, where's the ball? Gets the ball, so the timing was there, but just showed a little bit short. Got to get to the middle, find that 1st down marker.
Yeah, about a yard short, so it's 4th and, call it inches. Punting unit, though, is on the field. Russell signals for a fair catch, and he makes it at the 24-yard line, and that's where Middle Tennessee will start. 7-7 with 11:10 to go here in the 3rd. Three of the nation's best running backs on display on ESPNU over the weekend. Orwin Smith of Georgia Tech as the Yellow Jackets take on Maryland. That's at noon Eastern. At 3:30 Eastern, we get to see Pittsburgh's Ray Graham. Last Thursday, he ran all over South Florida. And then Alabama's Heisman candidate Trent Richardson as the Tide play host to Vanderbilt in Tuscaloosa. That's a 7 o'clock game on ESPNU as well. 7-7 here in Murfreesboro.
Vanderbilt right down the road from Murfreesboro, and talk of the town. Vanderbilt off to a 3-1 start. New head coach James Franklin.
You buried the lead earlier today. You said, I'm going to go over there to see my nephew. Or your cousin, right? And your cousin's John Jenkins.
Yeah, he can stroke it. He can shoot a little bit.
One of the best players in the nation. You look where Trent Richardson is and rushing on the season. A lot of good names on that list. The Doak Walker Award goes to the best running back in the nation at the end of the year.
What I really like about Trent Richardson's performance this year is the fact that so often, you know, the hype says, well, now that he gets to run it all by himself, they come there and they, you know, get dinged up. But he's actually grabbing it and saying, Mark Ingram's gone. Give me these extra carries, and he's making the most of his opportunity.
4 yards on first down for William Pratcher. And it's Pratcher again. He's got a little bit of room. Pratcher, second level across midfield and inside the 40-yard line. Finally stopped by Tyree Robinson, but not before a gain of 32.
And they left a man unblocked. Ramel Lewis has an opportunity to make the tackle in the backfield. He doesn't do it. The linebackers are gone. Nobody at that second level. Becomes a foot race, and Pratcher showing you he can step a little bit with the big gain.
This is D.D. Kyles. He gets a little bit of space, and he's got himself a first down. 13 yards in Middle Tennessee inside the 25.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Western Kentucky wants to come run the football. Middle Tennessee makes a halftime adjustment, came out clearly saying we must establish our running game on the line of scrimmage, and they're having success.
On the ground once more. It's Kyles. And D.D. Kyles into the end zone. A 25-yard touchdown, and Middle Tennessee has the lead.
Just right up the gut, coming at you. Zone blocking, look for a lane to cut vertical. They do it, turn on the Jets, becomes a foot race, and great balance by D.D. Kyles to get to the end zone.
D.D. Kyles last week, 15 rushes, 105 yards. More expected now that their top running back, Ben Cunningham, is out for a little while. Point after, no good. Looked like somebody got a hand on it, so Middle Tennessee only gets 6, but they take the lead on the touchdown by Kyles. 13-7 Blue Raiders here in the third. A 25-yard touchdown by that man, D.D. Kyles, has given Middle Tennessee a 13-7 lead. Let's take a look at the play.
Yeah, we hear the term zone blocking scheme all the time, and all this is a reach. They're going to flood this side. Everybody's going to take a hard step to their left, leaving the end man on the line of scrimmage unblocked. So you've got 5 blockers in front of you. Everybody going to the left. All Kyles has to do is look for a running lane. Once he finds that crease, it becomes a foot race to the end zone. That's how you coach him up. That's how you teach him. Everybody in sync, taking that step to the right at the same time in good synchronicity.
Middle Tennessee, we forget they lead the Sun Belt in rushing yards per game. Didn't see much of the run in the first half. That last drive, 4 plays, 75 yards. All the yards gained on the ground.
Yeah, showing you they can pound the football there a little bit too. And we always give credit to good coaches make those adjustments at halftime. Pass isn't there, time to pound the football and enforce the running game.
Tyree Robinson gets across the 30 with a spin, and he's up to the 40-yard line. Nice return, gain of 28 yards by the sophomore from Dundee, Florida. So Western Kentucky will start from its own 40-yard line. It's been a run-heavy offense, which is what we expected. Bobby Rainey, 20 carries already. When these two teams played last year, they got it 45 times.
Number 42 on the kicking team was all sides of the kick. The penalty is 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So an offsides call gives Western Kentucky the ball now at the 46-yard line.
And remember, in the first half, once Western Kentucky started off with the ball in this same type position, they managed to drive 60 yards for their lone touchdown of the game. Here in the second half, an opportunity to take advantage of great field position.
Rainey on first down. Nice burst of speed. And he gets about 7. Solid pickup by the senior.
And once again, the fullback, Kadeem Jones, number 32. Watch him go out and seek somebody to go hit. That's 5 yards down the field, making contact there. Very active fullback. I like this young man. Can mix it up a little bit.
He's got the lone Western Kentucky touchdown. A little 1-yard plunge back in the first quarter. Play action.
Got a man
Jakes
deep.
has a man wide open downfield. Touchdown. Oh, and he dropped it. Joel Sherman wide open. That would have been an easy 6. He dropped it.
Oh, how does he miss that? Great job by Jakes, buying time. You see German on the left side of your screen. Very accurately thrown ball on the run. Oh. Right in the breadbasket. And what does Rainey say? Touchdown. Oh.
Basically what I said. You saw him wide open. You saw the ball hitting him. Jump the gun. You say touchdown, and he drops it. Toss to Rainey on 3rd down. And he is wrapped up. No, he is still on his feet. He's not going to get anywhere, though. Chased down by Eric Russell, and it's 4th down. So what a turn of events for Western Kentucky.
You know, they're going with the toss sweep there. Nowhere there. I think at this point, Middle Tennessee and everybody knew they were going to run the football. They've got black and blue jerseys everywhere, swallowing up Rainey. And, you know, that momentum. I just think the momentum from that drop ball, how important was that? They would have had the lead because Middle Tennessee had an extra point blocked.
They would have at least had a chance for the lead.
Yes.
Russell signals for a fair catch. And Middle Tennessee starts inside its 15. Middle Tennessee took the lead because of its ground game on its last drive.
They just started pounding the ball using D.D. Kyles and along with William Pratcher, running back by committee. You saw Pratcher there doing it. Then you saw Kyles come in. Great job with the zone blocking scheme. Put it in the end zone for the pay dirt.
Those two have to carry the load in terms of the ground game with Cunningham out for at least a month, maybe longer. On the ground again, Pratcher breaks 1 tackle, and he's across the 20-yard line. Solid gain on 1st down. Kareem Peterson the stop.
You know, good running becomes contagious, and right now the running backs and the offensive line, they're starting to find that rhythm. They're starting to feel it.
Once more on the ground, Pratcher gets the corner. He's got a 1st down. Darius Brooks finally got him out of bounds.
And that's another Blue Raider.
Third straight running play. Pratcher has some space. He's across midfield and into Western Kentucky territory. 27 yards on the play.
Watch the distraction that Middle Tennessee State is doing. See, they line up all these guys here just to get confusion. There's only 5 guys in the box here to stop the run. What do? You bounce outside. Big run, good hole.
D.D. Kyles now into the game at running back. And it's Kyles.
Whoa.
Ball loose at the end of the play. Question is, was he down? And he was down. That's the 8th consecutive running play.
And you see Kyles.
Knees down.
Oh.
Knees down.
You say knees down?
I thought the knee was down.
All right. I'm with you, partner.
Kyles once more. And another 1st down. That's 9 straight running plays for Middle Tennessee. Kenny Martin made the tackle.
You know, there's an old phrase, if it's not broken, don't fix it. The running game is not broken, it's working. Let the clock keep ticking.
Well, throw this time, quick screen. Ball comes loose. Western Kentucky has it. Ryan Beard forced the fumble. Beard rather recovered it, and the Hilltoppers get the ball.
I mean, this is where you have to go. They brought an extra man to the box, so you got to go outside one-on-one. You've got a lead blocker there. Just a great tackle. Helmet on the football, and it comes loose there.
Malcolm Bia couldn't hold on. It was Tyree Robinson who got his helmet in there to punch it loose, and Beard falls on it. So 3rd turnover of the game for Middle Tennessee. What hurts is All three of them have been in Western Kentucky territory.
Yeah, that's been the painful part, and that's why Western Kentucky's still in this football game. Had Middle Tennessee been able to convert just one or two of those opportunities, lead would be larger.
Jakes over the middle. He's got the tight end Doyle. And Jack Doyle has some room in the Middle Tennessee territory.
You know who it was down there blocking? They set up this little double move there for Jakes right there in the middle of your screen, and he makes the catch. And you're going to see Kadeem Jones come over here and whop, put another block on a guy to get in the way. Good job there, Doyle. Good-looking tight end prospect.
Jakes throws on the run, and that time Doyle could not hang on. Would have had another big gain and a first down. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, catchable ball right there. Good job by K'Wan Jakes of stepping up in the pocket, keeping the vision there, sees the crossing route. Catchable ball right there. 2 nicely thrown balls that the Hilltoppers have not been able to come up with to help out K'Wan Jakes.
On the last drive, it was even more painful. Joel German had a touchdown.
You're not going to let Joel German forget that, are you?
It's tough, huh?
Oh, I don't know if he gets any more wide open than he was.
Here's Bobby Rainey back to the ground. And Rainey scampers inside the 40-yard line. Arnes Eichner got him. 3rd down. Third and 4 from the 40. Still early in the game, Jay, but is this 2-down territory?
I think it depends how many yards you pick up. If you're a yard or so short, then I think you go for it. Otherwise, if you get an incomplete pass, you got to kick it.
They'll try the reverse. Wide receiver will throw it to Jakes, and the quarterback could not hold on. It was Jamariel Brown throwing it, but Jakes could not hold on.
They've got him. They sell the sweep here. Then they get a little flip reverse. Jake leaks out the backfield. Nicely thrown ball. You got to slow down to catch that ball, quarterback.
You can't blame a drop on a quarterback, but that's 3 drops here on the last 2 drives that have really hurt Western Kentucky.
You know, the same things that make you laugh make you cry. You laugh at another guy dropping the ball, and then when you get your opportunity, you
realize how hard
it
is, yeah. Another good punt by Brakefield in Western Kentucky. Downs it at the 2-yard line, so Middle Tennessee will have a long way to go when they get the ball back, but they do have a 6-point lead with 5:44 to go in the 3rd. ESPNU College Football Primetime brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. A lot of the fans here at Floyd Stadium wearing black, a Blue Raider blackout. And Middle Tennessee has a 13-7 lead with 5:44 to go in the 3rd quarter. Blue Raider ball, but they'll have it at their own 2-yard line after a nice punt by Hendricks Brakefield. And for this Blue Raider offense, here in this 3rd quarter, they've had some success on the ground. They didn't really commit to the run game in the first half. They have in the second half. It's made a difference.
Yeah, and it was running the football that enabled them to move the ball down the field, score the touchdown, give them the lead. And then on the last time they had the ball, they were running the ball well. They threw one pass, wide receiver fumble. Then all of a sudden, the points come off the board.
13-7 Middle Tennessee. What's really hurt them, 3 turnovers, all in Western Kentucky territory.
See, now I think you change it up. Everybody expects you to run the football. Now I think you go ahead and you throw the football on them.
Even from the 2 on first down.
From the 2, because they're expecting it. They're going to try and stuff you and get a safety. There it is.
And there it is.
Come on, Neese, I told you.
Safety. Andrew Jackson. There he is again. Getting William Pratcher in the backfield. It's 13-9.
You know, Andrew Jackson, we talked about him being active, and, you know, we don't like shotgun snaps. He's 3 yards in the end zone, so that running back has to get to the line of scrimmage and gain at least 4 yards to stay out of the end zone. And isn't that just like a friend, just like a teammate? You come to celebrate and your own teammate knocks you down. The other team could knock you out, but your own teammate can.
Jackson has had a terrific game. Makes the play for a safety. He had an interception earlier to kill a Middle Tennessee drive. He's been in on a lot of plays.
You know, and I think the reason why I say you've got to run the football situation, you know, football can be like a game of chess. You've got to anticipate the next man's move. They had success running the football, so Western Kentucky brought an extra guy down in the box to force him to throw the ball. So Western Kentucky decided to say, well, let's go ahead and show a look like we're going to play soft and give them the ability to run. They bring those linebackers up to the gap late, get the tackle for a loss. In this case, turns out to be a safety because they knew that they were going to throw the football. So I think you got to counteract them, and you got to go airborne. Busy man tonight, Andrew Jackson. That's how you play middle linebacker. 5 tackles, the safety, and very athletic interception in the first half.
And he also had a big pass breakup in the first half.
Yeah, so he's been active. The tip ball down the seam.
So Middle Tennessee will now punt it away. And after the safety, Western Kentucky set up here with a chance for a good return and pretty decent field position to start. From the 20, the punt is off. It bounces. Tyree Robinson off the bounce. And he gets to midfield, but there is a flag.
A 48-yard punt. Tyree Robinson on the return.
So this will be coming back.
During the return, illegal block is back. Number 21 on the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So that block in the back will send the ball back to the 36-yard line. Still decent starting field position for Western Kentucky. What's really hurt them here in the second half, drop passes.
Drop passes, but you know, if they stick to what has been working, those folks were so wide open because they were using misdirection. So I think they've gotten away from the power running game, and they're starting to use the team defensive speed of Middle Tennessee against them.
Rainey on first down, spins across the 40, picks up 5 yards. Gorby Lorius brought him down, 2nd and 5.
I mean, Bobby Rainey is a workhorse. I mean, he doesn't seem to be getting tired. Most running backs, you start getting around 20 carries, they start to show some wear and tear. He's just as fresh at this stage in the game as he was when the game first started.
He's got 24 carries in the game, although Middle Tennessee's done a pretty good job on him.
They've done a very good job, but as those carries start to increase, you figure he's going to break one sooner or later.
Oh, play action. Jakes for Doyle. Incomplete. He was surrounded by 3 black jerseys.
Well, the story of the third quarter for Western Kentucky. This could have been a game-tying touchdown, but oh, wide receiver takes his eye off the ball. Then all of a sudden, your go-to tight end crosses the zone, perfectly thrown ball. He doesn't come down with it, and then the quarterback was laughing. They come back with the reverse. Quarterback open in the flat. The quarterback drops the ball, 3 drops, which really could have taken momentum for Western Kentucky in this ball game.
And the German drop hurt the most. That was 6 points off the board.
You're going to keep bringing up that German drop.
He was in the end zone and he was open and he dropped the ball. Jakes, he'll tuck it and run, and he's going to be taken down about a yard shy of the first down by Kenneth Gilstrap.
And that's been probably the 3rd or 4th time tonight we've seen a Hilltopper offensive player have the football and come up a yard short on 3rd down. You've got to know where the yard marker is and make an aggressive effort to get that first down in this type of football contest.
And the punting unit on here on 4th and 1. It's Hendricks Brakefield, who's had a pretty good game punting. Twice he's pinned Middle Tennessee inside its own 5-yard line. High snap. Line drive kick. Takes a Western Kentucky bounce, and another one. This one down at the 4-yard line. So Western Kentucky winning the field position game, 51-yard punt. ESPNU's coverage of college football continues Saturday at noon Eastern. Maryland visits Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets lead the nation in rushing. Then at 7 Eastern, Vanderbilt rolls into Tuscaloosa to face second-ranked Alabama and Trent Richardson. College football Saturday on ESPNU.
We talked before the game a little bit. I think that Maryland-Georgia Tech matchup is going to be interesting. Option team. We know Georgia Tech can run the ball, but anytime you've got a quarterback, you can compete.
From the 4. D.D. Kyles, and he's taken down at the 1. A loss of 3. Talked about that Maryland-Georgia Tech game. Surprising thing about Georgia Tech, that triple option, they've thrown it well this year. Yeah, 10 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards for Tevin Washington.
Paul, what are you doing down there?
He's throwing the ball. Vertical passing game.
And don't believe those stats from Danny O'Brien. He's a much better passer than those stats lead people to believe.
Dangerous spot for Middle Tennessee. Last time down here resulted in a safety. Kilgore airs it deep, but overshot his man by plenty. Bia, the intended target.
You still got to come out and throw it again. You know, right there, even on that last pass, you saw that Western Kentucky brought Jackson up the middle again to Andrew Jackson. So they're using run blitzes right now in anticipation of the run. I think if they run the ball right now, they may get hit with another safety. So
Western Kentucky showing blitz. They'll run, and nearly another safety. Kyles eluded that first defender in the backfield. Jared Clendenin nearly had him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got him right here. Just, 2 yards deep in the end zone. 2 yards deep in the end zone. That's why it's so risky running shotgun when you're backed up on your own goal line.
Western Kentucky's defenses look very good.
They have, if the offense can get it together, I mean, this could be a good football team. They've got great field position time and time again, just have not capitalized.
Toulson's punt fielded by Evans at the 45. Evans inside the 40, still on his feet. And once again, Western Kentucky will have great field position to start. 43-yard punt, 7 on the return. Saturday morning, ESPNU previews a full day of college football at 9 a.m. Eastern. Join Aaron Andrews and David Pollack for College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Then at 10 a.m., a special college football version of Sports Nation. It's The Whip at 11, the show that gets the latest from all the game sites just prior to kickoff.
And it's something to notice for Western Kentucky. I mean, this is who they've been all season long. This is an offense that only averages 13 points a game. They've only scored 7 touchdowns all season long in 4 games. And I think tonight we see why. The drop balls, the inability to maintain long drives.
To the air on first down, or at least that was the plan. And Jakes is going to be sacked. Jacoby Carter, the senior, got him for a loss of 5.
Yeah, give coverage the credit downfield. Nowhere to go with the football. They managed to get there with just a 4-man rush to get that sack. Good job by the defensive line from Middle Tennessee.
Max Uboja, number 46, also there. So 2nd and 15. Play action. That's the fullback Jones. It'll bring up 3rd down.
And they're going back to some of that misdirection type offense they've been running. Sell the run to the left side, come back with the bootleg to the right. Good physical run afterwards by Kadeem Jones, the fullback who's played himself a great football game tonight. Picking up a little bit of that yardage that they lost on the sack.
So they've got it at the 39-yard line. 3rd down. They need to get to about the 27 for a first. Jakes throws, it's caught, and out of bounds. Bo Brand, the true freshman, 26 yards. First and goal.
Yeah, great recognition by Jakes. You'll see him step up in the pocket. Good route run by Bo Brand, and Jakes throws another catchable ball, and this time they hold on to it for the big game for the Hilltoppers.
Now a chance to capitalize here in the final minute of the third quarter. First and goal. You think about the missed chances for Western. 2 missed field goals, a drop ball in the end zone. That's 12, 13 points potentially. Bobby Rainey still on his feet and into the end zone. Touchdown, Western.
The great ones know how to smell that end zone. He's been bottled up all night. This time, the first effort, not going to get him down. Knows he's got to get to the end zone. Punches it in for the score.
And with 35 seconds to go in the third, the Hilltoppers lead for the first time all evening. Tinius on for the point after. His kick is good, and it's a 3-point game, 16-13 with 35 seconds left. That's the workhorse, Bobby Rainey.
Yeah, just setting it up, and he can just smell the end zone. He was not going to go down, wanted every extra yard. First and goal from the 10-yard line. Only took him 1 play to get it in.
We mentioned this earlier. When you look at Western Kentucky's record, 2 wins last year, none the year before, winless this season. But in 6 of their last 9 conference games, they've had the lead or it's been tied entering the fourth quarter. This is the test for Willie Taggart's club. Can they close out an opponent?
You keep banging on the door, and sooner or later, it's going to fall down. It's going to open, and he's going to continue to drive his team to just get in a position to try and win football games.
And again, Taggart talked about this. He said a lot of those close losses just come down to a mentality going into those games. Our guys have to say we're going to win instead of let's try not to lose. If you joined us at the top of the broadcast, we played a snippet from Taggart's pregame speech to his team, and it was all about that winning mentality. And that's something that he admitted is something he's got to instill into this program, because since they made the transition from the FCS to the FBS, winning has been a challenge. They didn't have the personnel. Now they're starting to get a lot of those recruits in who are freshmen, sophomores, seeing some playing time, but they haven't been able to close out opponents, haven't been able to win consistently. That's the next step.
And maybe
being close isn't good enough anymore.
And maybe they've gotten over the hump, because a team that's used to losing, after those 3 consecutive drop balls, they'd have thrown it in.
That's true.
This team continued to fight, and they've got the lead. So maybe they are starting to believe in themselves.
Eric Russell across the 30-yard line, and for the first time in 3 drives, Middle Tennessee happy that it's not starting inside its own 5.
Now we'll see if they can go ahead and start running the football game with some more success. Now they've got a little bit more real estate.
Middle Tennessee, they're no stranger to nail biters. Their season opener against Purdue, they lost on a blocked field goal with 49 seconds left. It would have tied it. Lost to Troy by 3. Logan Kilgore threw an interception on 4th down with less than 2 minutes to play. And then last week they beat Memphis on a game-winning touchdown catch by Anthony Amos with 11 seconds. Plenty of time for Kilgore, but way too high. They wanted Amos, and it's 2nd and 10, 24 seconds to go in the quarter. Kilgore started strong and really has not had the touch since the first quarter.
Yeah, they started to hit him, and led by Jared Clendenin. He's got that ball, not a lot of time to get rid of it. Getting a hit, just got rid of that ball in the nick of time. Pressure makes a good quarterback look average, Anish.
That's Amos, who's got a first down and more. And he's close to midfield, finally bumped out of bounds by Tyree Robinson, but not before a gain of 16.
And with that completion and the pickup of the first down, now you're starting to see Middle Tennessee go back to who they are. Up-tempo, fast-paced offense, trying to get a number of plays called.
They go back to the run. They've had success running here in this third quarter, but not much by Pratcher on first down. And that'll be the final play of the quarter. We will go to the fourth quarter. Western Kentucky, 15 minutes away from its first win of the season. Can they close out the Blue Raiders? We'll see.
You know what? And what else those teams do? They find a way to make winning plays. They find a way to make winning plays, and somehow they win. Somehow they win. Okay? That's what I want from you guys. I want that for you guys. And I think you want that too.
Western Kentucky certainly wants that. They haven't won a game all season. They've been in this situation before where they've been close. Right now they've got a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter. It's 16-13. Bobby Rainey, all-conference running back for the Hilltoppers, 116 total yards, and then the go-ahead touchdown in the third quarter. Andrew Jackson, middle linebacker, a safety, an interception, 6 tackles, and Middle Tennessee got going with the ground game. D.D. Kyles having a big second half, 65 yards, 25 coming on a touchdown run. Fourth quarter underway here in Murfreesboro. Kilgore throws in traffic, and it's caught by Amos. First down, Middle Tennessee, 16 on the play.
Great three-level throw here by Kilgore, realizing he's got different options. So you're going to get a crossing route here, somebody in the flat here, and the clear-out route here. Ball's going right here in the zone. Watch him go through the progression and see it, man come open. Great throw.
And that's Pratcher on first down, picking up 4. Amos, who had that last catch, was a junior college guy. Wasn't looked at by a lot of teams. Middle Tennessee didn't have a scholarship for him. Invited him on as a walk-on. Didn't think he would come aboard, but he did. And he was the best receiver in the spring. And the coaches called him maybe the most complete receiver. Kilgore over the middle, and that's in and out of the hands of the receiver, but there's a flag. Jefferson, the intended receiver. Middle Tennessee familiar with close games as well, like Western.
Number 90 defense was in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalties 5 yards. Repeat, second down.
So 2nd and 5 becomes 2nd and inches. Wildcat now. This is Kyle Griswold. He'll take it straight up the middle. And Griswold close to the 20-yard line. It's a first down.
And normally when you see a Wildcat quarterback have that type of success, you're going to see it again at some point. Good job there by Griswold of picking up the first down and then some.
No relation to Clark, I must add. There's Pratcher. Finds a hole, powers through. He gains 4, 2nd and 6.
Wow, that was a collision there.
Something to remember. Middle Tennessee, their kicker, Alan Gindro, often reliable. Hasn't been the case this year, and Rick Stockstill expressed to us that he's a little worried about his kicker. Nothing really a gimme with Gindro these days.
Yeah, he said that, the kicker kind of got shot, got in his head, had 2 field goal attempts blocked. And now that the protection's there, he's just been missing to the left, missing to the right. 2 of 6 on the year with field goal attempts.
Kilgore for the end zone, nearly picked off. Cam Thomas on coverage. Sancho McDonald couldn't haul it in.
Right place to go with the football. Let him outside, and Sancho McDonald trying to make a catch. Tipped that ball in the air. Very fortunate it wasn't intercepted.
And there is Gindro. He's normally an all-conference kicker, one of the best in the Sun Belt, but you can see just 2 for 6 this year. Plenty of time. Kilgore in traffic, incomplete. No flag. They wanted Griswold. 4th down, and now we get to see Gindro. This is a 35-yarder.
Genshaw to attempt the field goal. A 35-yard attempt.
35-yard attempt coming up for Alan Gendro. We mentioned 2 for 6, 3 of the misses beyond 40. As Jay told you, 2 of the kicks were blocked. Kick is up, and it is wide. So the kicking woes continue for Middle Tennessee, and an empty possession for Rick Stockstill's Blue Raiders. So with 13-11 left, Western Kentucky still hanging on. They got a 3-point lead. But we come back, what the Hilltoppers have in common with the Stanford Cardinal. Western Kentucky up by 3, looking for its first win of the season. Hilltoppers head coach Willie Taggart played for Jack Harbaugh when he was at Western Kentucky. Then Jack's son John brought him to Stanford to be the running backs coach in 2007. And you can see the improvement. Stanford had just 1 win in 06. Taggart joined the staff. 07, they got to 4 wins. And then they had 8 in Taggart's last season as running backs coach. And then at Western Kentucky, Taggart taking over as head coach in 2010. Western Kentucky going 2-10 in his first year, but they were winless the season before. So he knows what it's like to build a program. And of course, we remember what Stanford did a year ago. Taggart was already at Western Kentucky by that point, but Stanford winning 12 games, winning the Orange Bowl, going to a BCS game. Andrew Luck, runner-up in the Heisman voting. Taggart, though, was Toby Gerhardt's coach when he was a Heisman finalist. Bobby Rainey tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2, and you see what the Cardinal did the first 3 years, 07, 08, 09. Taggart was on the staff. And 2006, the year before Harbaugh got there, the team was 1-11. 2010, the turnaround symmetrically complete, 12-1. Jakes hit as he throws, and did Doyle hang on? No, it's going to be ruled incomplete. Could not stay in bounds.
Bringing the pressure, and they did a pretty good job of picking up this blitz pickup. You'll see Rainey get in front of somebody, put a body there, but not able to step into the throw. When quarterbacks can't step into throws, they lose that accuracy just a little bit outside.
3rd and 12. Western Kentucky up by 3. The Hilltoppers looking for their first win of the season. Their 2 wins last year, both in the Sun Belt, both road games. Jakes to Rainey. Shakes the initial tackler, and then he's shoved out of bounds. He'll be shy of the first down, so the punting unit will come on for Western Kentucky.
No, now something that the coaches are going to have to deal with. You've got a team that's not used to winning. Now that they've got a little lead, will they know how to handle that type of pressure? It's a different type of pressure that goes from playing from behind and playing with the lead, trying to protect it.
2 things at play right here. Western Kentucky, their ability to close out games, and then Middle Tennessee down 3. They have issues in the kicking game. You saw it not long ago when they missed a field goal. Saturday, full slate of college football on ESPNU at noon Eastern. Undefeated Georgia Tech home for Maryland at 3:30 Eastern. A battle in the Big East. Pittsburgh goes to Rutgers. Ray Graham, what will he do for an encore after tearing up South Florida last week? Number 2 Alabama home for Vandy. That's at 7 Eastern. And then the late game, BYU and San Jose State. All 4 games you can see on ESPNU this Saturday.
That's BYU of Independence fame, but
maybe not for long.
But you know, something to talk about, you know, both coaches, and you know, I like to think a good coach has the pulse of their team. When we talked to Coach Stockstill yesterday, what did he say? He knew the pulse of his kicker. He said, I just don't know what to do. I'm not feeling confident about it. And unfortunately for him, he was right. Kicker comes out, misses a kick that could have tied this game. Then you go to Coach Taggart. We saw what he said in the pregame, that we're going to have to learn how to win. There's going to be an opportunity to make some plays. How are we going to adapt to those plays that we have to make? And you got to know your team. And that's a sign of a good coach. You know, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. But you want to make sure that your coach understands what he's dealing with, how to get the most out of his players. And I think that both of these coaches are very good at their craft.
Injured man on the field. That's the cause for the delay here with 12:23 to go. Trainers tending to the player. That's going to be key for Western Kentucky. This is a team, by all accounts, if you believe in what you read from the recruiting services, they've recruited well over the last 2 years, some of the top classes in the Sun Belt. So there is that pipeline of talent that's coming into Bowling Green, Kentucky, as Craig Allen, the injured player, now on his feet, walking off on his own power. And if they can turn those recruiting classes into good football players, the players who are here can develop that winning attitude, Willie Taggart thinks that he could have something, and he's invested in this program. This is his alma mater.
Yeah, he cares a lot about it. And, you know, for them, the key is going to be they look at Middle Tennessee and they kind of like where they're going. This was their longtime rival when both teams were in the Ohio Valley Conference. Middle Tennessee made the jump up to the Sun Belt sooner, Division I football. Western Kentucky's just now making that process. They've only been in it for 3 years, so he can look across the field and say, hey, that's where we want our program to be in a couple of years.
Look at Florida International, another Sun Belt school that's done quite well with the transition.
Yes, they have. So there's a model and recipe for doing it, but it's a lot easier said than done.
Eric Russell waiting at his own 39-yard line for Middle Tennessee. Low snap to Brakefield, and he just gets it off. Over the head of Russell, field to the 25. And tackled at the 26. 55-yard punt, 1 yard return. Middle Tennessee ball with 12:02 left when we return. ESPNU College Football Primetime brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. Middle Tennessee, the home team, down by 3 with 12:02 to go here in the fourth. The kicking woes resurfacing for the Blue Raiders. Earlier in the game, they had an extra point blocked. It was Alan Gendro who was kicking, and then Gendro hooking a field goal. That's 4 points right there. And Rick Stockstill, you have to wonder how much faith he'll have in the kicking game the rest of the way. Western Kentucky has had its issues as well. They've missed 2 field goals, both by Casey Tinius.
It's like a 2-1 score, like Yankees versus Tigers.
And that's going to be a loss. Reggie Watley 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Say this about Western Kentucky's defense. They have not let up.
Yeah, and defensive coordinator Lance Guidry's got to be extremely proud of his team. Middle Tennessee's moved the ball at times, but they haven't been able to punch it into the end zone time and time again. So good job to the Hilltopper defense.
Kilgore on the run to Jefferson. He can't hold on. Good coverage. Arias right all over him. 3rd down.
You know, you see Kilgore's walk now. It's not that same confident walk we had earlier. And looking at him in between breaks, he seemed to get a little bit rattled. Doesn't have that swag that you'd like to see the young quarterback have. He had it in the first half. Now it's gone, and several of his passes have either been late or just off mark.
With Jay Walker and Ish Schroff, we're here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You can join in on the conversation on Twitter at ESPNU. 3rd and 12. Kilgore over the middle, and it's complete for a 1st down. That's Amos.
That's been the throw they've been giving him, having the wide safeties playing a 2-deep look behind it, managing to get receivers to the middle of the field. That's where the success has been, and good job holding on.
4th catch of the game for Amos. Kilgore this time hands it off. And a 2-yard run for D.D. Kyle, 2nd and 8. And we asked Rick Stockstill yesterday. As you can see, what Middle Tennessee has done on the ground, much better in the second half. We asked Stockstill if he was in that 40, 47-yard range with his kicker, would he go for it? And he said a lot of it depended on how Gindro kicked earlier in the game. Wide open along the far sideline. Tavares Jefferson making Kyle Griswold. And Griswold down close to the 10-yard line, 38 yards. Now they get about 10 more. They don't have to worry about the kicker.
Yeah, this is a long development play. And Griswold's going to come out here and go along the sideline there. Plenty of time to develop it. Once it becomes a one-on-one foot race between he and the linebacker, he's going to win that race there, and some great moves after the catch.
On the ground, it's Griswold again. And he gets maybe a yard, but a flag. Here's the head referee.
Illegal substitution defense. The substituted player did not leave the field in time. After the first 5-yard penalty, first down.
All right, now here's where it gets interesting. They can run the ball, but they can only run the ball when they have the number count in their advantage. You got to think that Western Kentucky is going to come out with some of those run-stopping blitzes and try and force Middle Tennessee to throw the football.
They will run it, but won't get very far.
I can't see them winning that matchup. You know, the way it's going, they're showing, the Western Kentucky showing that, hey, we know you're going to run the football. We can stop you. We can out-physical you, out-muscle you at the line of scrimmage.
That's always been the weakness of spread offenses. When they get close, we've seen this a lot. We saw it in the championship game with Oregon last year. Kilgore to throw, end zone incomplete. He wanted Jared Bamber.
Wow, that was a
no
lot
flag.
of contact. Ryan Beard had a bunch of jersey. Guard the tight end, you'll see him. He's all over him. He's draped all over him. Wow.
Didn't look like he was looking back at the ball either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they missed that one there.
Middle Tennessee, 2 of 7 on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 4. They can still technically get a first down. Western Kentucky trying to change personnel. Kilgore, end zone, incomplete, 4th down. And Alan Gindro, the kicker, on this time. It's a 22-yarder. But remember, he's had an extra point blocked, and he's missed a 35-yarder and just 2 for 7 on the season. But Stock still doesn't like where his kicker's confidence is at. This is big. It would tie the game at 16 from 22 yards out. This one is up and good. So Gindro connects from 22, and Middle Tennessee has tied it at 16. It's a whole new ball game with 9:23 to go in the 4th. (16-16) tie game with 9.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. Both these teams seeking their first win in the Sun Belt, and some Sun Belt news and notes. South Alabama joins the league. They'll begin play in 2012. Howard Schnellenberger, who won a championship at Miami, he'll step down as Florida Atlantic's coach at the end of the season. And both Florida Atlantic and North Texas will debut new stadiums The Owls actually face the Hilltoppers later this month.
And I know the folks down in Denton, Texas, they've been waiting for that mean green to get that new football stadium for a long time. Well, the future is now, as George Allen used to say.
Meanwhile, it's 16-16 here. This is Evans from the 5. Has some room. Evans bursts to speed. One man to beat. He's got the 30. Evans down the sideline, and Western Kentucky has taken the lead. A 90-yard kick return for a touchdown by John Evans.
Coach Taggart challenged his bunch, said there are big plays to be made out there on the field to help us get our first victory on the year, and the special teams rises to the occasion.
Extra point is good, and John Evans, the freshman, has given Western Kentucky a 7-point lead.
Got everything you want in a great return. Great protection, then good balance here by the return man to stay on his feet, showing you the speed to make it a foot race. Fastest man on the field wins. That's an exciting kickoff return.
And the most important part, no flag on the play. How many times have we seen that?
It looked like it was going to be close, like you might have seen a block in the back, but it didn't happen. Good job, and they're close.
This is a team. It's been, you know, the story in Greek mythology, Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the mountain. He gets close. When he gets right near the top, he's got to start all over. It's been the story for Western Kentucky the last couple of years, and Willie Taggart, head coach, he wants to change that. A lot of those close losses, he says, just come down to the very end. And he said you have to have the attitude that we're going to win instead of let's play not to lose.
Yep, and they've been close time and time again. And, you know, I think we thought if you look on paper, it seemed like Middle Tennessee was a lot closer to winning those football games than Western Kentucky. The last-second losses that Middle Tennessee has gone through, they thought they broke through with the victory over Memphis. Well, it seems like Western Kentucky's 9 minutes away from their breakthrough signature win of the Willie Taggart era.
We'll put it this way. Both these teams have stayed in quite a few rooms at the Heartbreak Hotel over the last year and change.
But a lot of football to be played.
Right.
9 minutes and 10 seconds.
We know how quickly Middle Tennessee can score. This is Eric Russell. And he's wrapped up shy of the 25. A flag at the end of the play.
Russell with a 15-yard return. Tackled by Quantericus Smith. Penalty line down.
We remind you, ESPNU's coverage of high school football continues in the Peach State tomorrow as the Valdosta Wildcats face the Lowndes Vikings. Geico ESPN High School Football Showcase presented by Nike. It all starts tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPNU. So the penalty backs up Middle Tennessee. They'll start from their own 14. And you look at what both teams have done in this game. Middle Tennessee certainly had the advantage in terms of yards in the second half, but they've been handicapped by field position.
They have, you know, great special teams by Western Kentucky all night long. It kind of made Middle Tennessee leave their comfort zone. You know, what they really want to do is throw the football first. They can run the football if need be. In the second half, Middle Tennessee came out in the third quarter, established they were going to run the football, grab the lead. In Western Kentucky, that defense has been bend but don't break all night long.
2nd and 4 after a 6-yard throw to Amos on the first down. Now a run, and not very far to go for William Pratcher, 3rd down. Jamarcus Allen made the tackle.
Now, this part of the field has been normally where Middle Tennessee hits Western Kentucky for a big play. 3rd and short, and Western Kentucky will give up 18, 19 yards, and they're coming out in that cover 2 again. Watch the most dangerous man right here. See if he can get open in the seam.
Kilgore on the run. He's got Bamber, who's got a first down. He falls down shy of the 30, but a new set of downs. Arias Wright tripped him up.
Move in the pocket there. One thing that we haven't mentioned a lot of has been the Western Kentucky defensive line. They've got 8 defensive linemen. All of them play a lot, so they're pretty fresh at all times.
Kilgore over the middle. Amos could not hold on to it. He was draped by Kareem Peterson.
Every time that field is open in the middle, that's where Middle Tennessee's going, and that's just a great job by Kareem Peterson of breaking on the ball.
He's been a nice addition to the Western Kentucky defense. Missed the first 3 games, returned last week, and he's one of the leaders of that secondary. Kilgore has time, going deep. Incomplete. He wanted Bia, but there's a flag.
I'll tell you one thing about Malcolm Bia. He's got top end speed.
Pass interference, number 14 defense. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, and automatic first down.
And Peterson made a great play on the previous play, but right here he gets caught in no man's land in that trail position. All you can do. That's all you can do is go ahead and try and make sure he doesn't at least catch the ball for the touchdown. He got beat, but several times tonight we've seen Bia just outrun the Western Kentucky secondary.
On the ground. And that's Pratcher. Taken down by Peterson after a gain of 2.
Good open field tackle by Kareem Peterson. Looked like Pratcher was going to have enough space to put several moves on and get a big play. Peterson came up and made the tackle.
Kilgore, quick release. Bia runs past one tackler, and then he's knocked out of bounds. But Bia appears to have a first down. Here's Kyles, cuts back. Kyles with another first down. He's inside the 35-yard line, 13 yards on the play. And Middle Tennessee moving the chains as we come up on 7 minutes in the 4th.
A good move there by D.D. Kyles. And now this is that part of the field where you start to see the Hilltopper defense tighten up.
Bia turns, and he's bumped out inside the 25-yard line, and this Middle Tennessee offense finally seems to be in sync.
And now I think because of the kicking woes that Middle Tennessee has gone through tonight, and they're down by 7, 4-down territory.
Yep.
For the rest of this drive, regardless, I think you'll see them go for it, even if it's 4th and 9 or 10 yards.
Here's Kyles on 2nd and 1. He's got the first down.
And so if you know that as an offensive coordinator, that really can change your play selection. You don't have to be as aggressive thinking you've got 3 downs to score, get the first down. Knowing you got 4-down territory, that really can change how you call your plays.
From the 20. Kyles spun down after a gain of just 1 by Quanterus Smith. Smith normally comes in as a pass rusher, but that time, nice play against the run.
Yeah, because he's so aggressive on that end, he had the outside leverage versus Alex Stewart, the right tackle for Middle Tennessee.
Kilgore to the air, completes, and it'll be 1st and goal. Amos.
They brought the pressure, but he still had time to make a quick pump fake and get rid of it. Nobody back there. Now it's a touchdown saving tackle by Kareem Peterson.
1st and goal from the 2. Here's Kyles, make it. Kilgore will keep it, and he's erased in the backfield back at the 9-yard line by Ryan Beard, a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, they're going to pull it, and you're going to see him coming from the top, unblocked there, and he's just locked and loaded on the quarterback. You know, if it's close as a quarterback, you're taught, give it to the dive man.
We talked about this earlier. Spread offenses tend to struggle when they get into this 5-10-yard area sometimes.
They do, and I think you got to look for Malcolm Bia here if you're Logan Kilgore.
And that's nearly intercepted. So now a 3rd and goal coming up from the 8-yard line, and you mentioned the kicking woes. Gindro did make his last one from 22. Right now you're looking at about 25, but you're also down 7 with 5:03 to play.
Yeah, I think you go for it. I think you go for it. 2 plays here, 2-play selection. You know, the problem they have is they line up Bia, their best wide receiver, down here in the bottom. So he's so far away from the action, pretty tough to get him the football in the red zone unless you throw a fade pattern to him.
Kilgore, corner of the end zone. Incomplete, not a catch. McDonald was out of bounds.
This was a great job of pushing him out of bounds. That's a rule. Once he leaves his feet, you can go ahead and push him out of bounds. So he turns there, looks for him, and gives him that extra little shove. Didn't get it in.
And the kicker still on the sideline, so it looks like Rick Stockstill will go for it. Less than 5 minutes to play. 4th and goal, ball on the 8-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised they went back to that little back shoulder fade route we saw there in the last attempt and just try and keep it in play.
They've got all 3 timeouts. They'll go for it. Kilgore throws wide open, touchdown, Anthony Amos. And Middle Tennessee now a point after from tying it up.
How did he get so wide open? Well, they try to bring the pressure to hurry up and get the ball out of Kilgore's hands. He held on to it for a second. Easy touchdown.
And this is big now. The point after. 1 has already been blocked in this game. Not this one. Gindro splits the uprights. And we've got a 23-23 game with less than 5 minutes to play. It's the walk-on, Anthony Amos, with a game-tying touchdown catch. We'll see if Western Kentucky can answer. They'll receive when we come back. Middle Tennessee capped a 15-play, 86-yard drive with an 8-yard touchdown catch by Anthony Amos, and we're all tied at 23.
Yeah, lack of communication by the linebacker unit here. This is Arius Wright, the nickelback, to go along with Andrew Jackson. They've got man-to-man coverage. They try to pass off the linebacker. 2 Hilltopper defenders go to the running back, leaving Anthony Amos wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. Blown coverage, and it seemed like everybody on the field was playing man-to-man coverage except for the nickelback Arius Wright, who passed over the receiver to the linebacker thinking he had help. But if it's man-to-man coverage, you don't have help. That linebacker, Andrew Jackson, had responsibility on the running back.
What a 3 weeks it's been for Anthony Amos. Last week against Memphis, had the game-winning touchdown with 11 seconds left. The week before against Troy, 3 catches, 84 yards in his first career touchdown, and then a career game tonight. Career high, 7 catches, 100 yards. He has been a find for Rick Stockstill, a kid who played junior college. They didn't have a scholarship for him, so he walked on to Middle Tennessee, and the coaches say he's the most complete receiver on the roster. Tyree Robinson has to retreat to field this one. And Robinson gets to about the 25, and that's where Western Kentucky starts. Terrific menu this Saturday on ESPNU, where coverage of college football starts at noon with Maryland and Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets, the top rushing team in the nation. Pittsburgh, Rutgers at 3:30 Eastern. Alabama, Vandy at 7 Eastern, the Tide, number 2 in the nation. And then at 10:30 Eastern, it's BYU, home for San Jose State in beautiful Provo, Utah. 23-23. Both teams seeking their first conference win. Western Kentucky seeking its first win of the year. Bobby Rainey. He gets 3 yards on first down.
I think this is the part of the game where you actually lean on Bobby Rainey. You ask your offensive line to get that push and ask Bobby Rainey to give him as many touches as he needs to break one to make something big happen for your offense. And if Bobby Rainey's doing what he's supposed to do and they're running the ball well, you'll eat up a lot of clock and you'll have the ability to put some points on the board and not leave the Blue Raiders too much time.
Jakes will throw. Now he'll tuck it and run. And he gets close to the 35, 3rd down.
Great decision. Great decision by Jakes there. If you don't like what you see at this point in the game, take off and run and just get some positive yardage. So you make it a quick decision. Somebody's got to come wide open. Don't like it, run straight ahead vertically, pick up some yards. So now you've got 3rd and 1 to 2. Your whole playbook is at your disposal right now, including, more importantly, Bobby Rainey.
Crowd on its feet here at Floyd Stadium on 3rd and 3. Play action. Jakes wanted the tight end. Doyle, it's incomplete. The Western Kentucky sideline wanted a flag, but no flag on the play. 4th down.
It wasn't there. They tried that 2-level throw with the fullback Kadeem Jones in the flat and Jake Doyle running to that 2nd level. But see, that's one where you tell your quarterback you read it from the bottom up, meaning fullback to tight end, not tight end to fullback. In doing so, they got the incomplete pass, and good job by the Blue Raider defense.
Western Kentucky had a 3-point lead going into the 4th quarter. Middle Tennessee tied it on a field goal. Western Kentucky came back, 90-yard kick return. And then Middle Tennessee answering with an 8-yard touchdown pass, Kilgore to Amos. Russell calls for the fair catch at the 27. And that's where the Blue Raiders will start. 23-23. And the last drive of the game, that seems to be where all the drama is for Rick Stockstill's Blue Raiders in the season opener against Purdue. They went 9 plays, 50 yards. A field goal that would have tied it was blocked against Troy on a 4th down play. Logan Kilgore picked off. And then in their last game against Memphis, went 94 yards. Kilgore to Amos for a touchdown with 11 seconds left. And Middle Tennessee got its first win of the year last Saturday. From the 27. Kyles looked like he ran into his own man.
Got knocked backwards, and those fresh legs on the defensive line for Western Kentucky. They've got a rotation of 8 defensive linemen. That really is a tremendous advantage for them at this stage of the football game.
And now Kyle's down on the field, and here's a guy who's had some injury issues in the past, ankle, hamstring in camp. Logan Kilgore talking about the final drive. There really isn't a big difference between the 3, talking about the 3 previous late drives, but everything is cured by winning. They did that last week against Memphis, and it'll take another late drive to do it against Western Kentucky tonight.
Yeah, and despite the lack of offensive output that they're accustomed to all season long, they're still in a position to win the game. And as a quarterback, all you want to do is put your team in a position to win the game in the 4th quarter. Tie ball game, 3 minutes left. This is where quarterbacks earn all the glory and glamour that goes along with the position.
I'll say this, Middle Tennessee, their offense, just 102 total yards in the first half, 336 in the second half. They've come to life. Let's see where Kyle's got hurt.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And remember, they're already down a running back. Their starting running back, Benny Cunningham, leading the team in rushing, entering play. He's out with a foot injury, and Cunningham, he could be out a while. 4 to 6 weeks is what we were told. So Kyles comes off the field. Willie Pratcher, who's over 100 yards on the evening, back in. Kilgore. Incomplete, third down. Big third down.
And it's been interesting because the last 3 times that Western Kentucky's brought pressure and brought a blitz on Kilgore, they haven't got to him, and he's been able to get completions on them. Normally, defenses tend to get conservative when that happens. So right now, I think Western Kentucky will come out and play their best zone-to-zone, zone coverage if they can. I don't look for them to bring any pressure on Kilgore.
Kilgore off his back foot and overthrown. He wanted Amos. So it's 4th down now. And the punting unit on for Middle Tennessee. So Western Kentucky, winless on the season, will have a chance here.
And look at this. He's got time. He thinks the blitz is coming. Watch this. Nobody's close to him. Step into that throw. You keep your accuracy. You can hit the receiver that was open. He actually thought pressure was there that wasn't there. Threw it off his back leg when he didn't have to. Incomplete ball.
And guess who's back deep? Bobby Rainey is going to field the punt. It's a booming one by Toulson. And it bounces at the 24-yard line where it'll be down. 2:42 left here in Murfreesboro. That's in regulation. Western Kentucky ball. What did Willie Taggart tell his team? They got to close out games. Have to have that mentality that says we're going to win instead of let's try not to lose. They've been in a lot of close games over the last year and a half. This is a chance to get that win and to get this program on the right track as they adjust to FBS football.
That signature win that they're looking for. They've got another opportunity now. You've got your running back, and we've seen your quarterback make some good plays with his legs. Get the ball to the playmakers.
Play action. K'Wan Jakes completes to Rico Brown. And now it's ruled incomplete.
They called the play action again. Fake it to Rainey. They've got the fullback covered in the flat. Tight ends covered, throwing out to the wide receiver. And yeah, you got to give him a little bit better ball there. That's a pretty open wide receiver there.
That was close.
Yeah, once you're out there, he's got to go down and get it. Yeah, ball touched the turf.
2:35 left in regulation, 2nd and 10. And they're going to review the previous play. We mentioned it earlier, not counting tonight. 6 of the last 9 conference games for Western Kentucky. They've been tied or they've had the lead in the 4th quarter.
And they're in another one. And see, from that angle there, you can't tell. But there'll be another angle where you can see that ball go between his legs.
I guess part of the question is, did he have control of it?
Yeah, but as you see this one here.
Elbow hits the ground. You can't see the ball.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
So that's at a visual review, which really changed some football games in college football. We know that firsthand here at the Thursday Night Crew.
Remember,
got to be conclusive. Overturn it. I'm just the biggest fan of getting the call right. Let's make sure that the calls are made right and the right team is credited with the play.
So 2nd and 10 with 2:35 to go.
I'd watch a screen to Bobby Rainey right now. You figure they got to get the ball in his hands.
Rainey in the slot. Jakes to Doyle. Eludes one tackler, and he's got a first down up to the 37-yard line.
And that's a big first down right there. By getting that first down, you can pretty much assure yourself, unless you turn the football over, that you're going to control the ball for the rest of the ball game to give your offense a chance to win. You can play with the clock. You can control the clock. So that was a pretty important first down.
And Doyle now has hit the century mark in receiving yards. First wide receiver for Western Kentucky to do that this season. Rainey, nice juke move. Rainey to the outside. And he's close to a first down.
Wow. You got Denzel Guerrero, number 31 in blue, coming up to make the tackle in open space on the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year. I don't think so. Too much space there, and Rainey, look at the feet. Here's what you like. Good running back gonna have good feet. Watch this, my man. Keeps them moving at all time, gets outside. You can't stop him. All you can try and do is contain him.
Coming up on 90 seconds to play in regulation. Rainey again, left side. He's got a first down and bumped out of bounds after a first down. That stops the clock with 1:25.
And they're doing a good job of just controlling that left side of the line of scrimmage. Big number 77, Wes Jeffries, sealing the edge, and then you bring the fullback in there to act as the lead blocker, and Rainey is showing why he is who we said he is. Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year last season.
And he's a workhorse. He's carried it 28 times. Carried it 45 in this matchup a year ago, so 28. That's easy. That's an easy day at the office. On the delay, here's Rainey. Won't go down. And he gets to about the 42-yard line, or make it the 37-yard line. Gain of 6 yards. Clock still ticking. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. And Western Kentucky will use its first timeout with 1:11 to go. Well, these two played last year. Bobby Rainey, 45 rushes, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns. Western Kentucky had a 26-10 lead, but this was a key play. A fumble near the goal line. Rod Isaac, his senior, picked it up, went 99 yards for the score. That helped to trigger a Middle Tennessee comeback in the second half. The Blue Raiders would score the final 17 points of the game. They took the lead here. Ben Cunningham, 6-yard touchdown run. Cunningham out with a foot injury, not playing in tonight's game. And the Hilltoppers lost 27-26. Western Kentucky winless at home last year. In fact, they haven't won at home in more than 3 years.
Including going 0 for 4 at home this year. 1 neutral game. The game against Kentucky was a neutral site game.
But the 2 games they won last year were conference games. They were on the road. On 2nd and 4, here's Rainey. He's got some room. Rainey inside the 20-yard line. And the clock stops with 1:07, a 25-yard run.
They found some success running on the left side. The big left tackle, Wes Jeffries, clearing down the house. Big running lane for Bobby Rainey.
And Middle Tennessee has called a timeout with 1:04 to go. They're first.
This is their first timeout of the half.
Now that last run put Rainey over the century mark, his 16th career 100-yard rushing game. The guys ahead of him, that's pretty good company.
Very good company there. Montel Harris, he's dealing with an injury right there at Boston College, but he's been steady throughout his career. And we got the superstar, Michael James from Oregon, the speed back, and Lance Dunbar, North Texas. They got a new stadium. He'll be able to continue that streak going on we talked about earlier.
And we're going to see some fine running backs on ESPNU this weekend. On Saturday, Orwin Smith and Georgia Tech take on Maryland. That's at noon Eastern on the U. Then at 3:30 Eastern, how about Pittsburgh's Ray Graham went crazy against South Florida a week ago today. And Trent Richardson for Alabama, the Tide hosting Vanderbilt. From the 17, Rainey once more. Man, that time he's wrapped up. Lost 2 yards. Nice tackle by Jones. And Middle Tennessee uses its second timeout with 58 seconds. Field goals have been an issue for both teams. Western Kentucky 0 for 2 on field goals today. Casey Tinius missed from 48. He also missed from 46 yards. Right now, they're at the 20, so they're looking at about 37 yards. But Tinius on the season, including today, just 1 for 5.
Yeah, they've had their struggles, and that's why this, young coach, when you talk about Willie Taggart, he'd really like to punch this thing in and take it out of the hands of a special teams kicker. But if you're going to get that first W on the road to get off the winless streak, you're going to need the whole team to come through, including special teams.
Here's Rainey on 2nd and long. And a flag at the end of the play. And this is going to come back. That's big.
Holding, 65 offense. Penalties 10 yards, 2nd down.
So now you back it up from the 20 to the 30.
You see him right there in the middle of your screen, number 65. Rides him into the ground.
And Middle Tennessee has just used its final timeout to stop the clock with 52 seconds to play. So 2nd and 24, ball now at the 30. So from here, it's a 47-yarder. And remember, Tinius has missed from 48 and 46. He's 1 for 5 on the season. The one make is from 41, but he's also missed from 34 and 32. Don't forget Sports Center U following our game. Darinoka will update you on the Cal-Oregon game.
And you get the feeling with that last penalty, now you got to throw the football. I think if you're Western Kentucky, you've got to throw the football once or twice, and you got to put it in the hands of your quarterback. You can't put it in the hands of Bobby Rainey. You got to ask K'Wan Jakes to make a play for you.
Does this go back to playing to win?
Yeah, you got to play to win.
Because you can run the ball.
You can run it, but that wouldn't be helping out your calls right now. See, that would be playing conservative. But if you're playing to win, you ask your quarterback to make a play for you.
2 tight ends, Rainey in the backfield. They'll run it. Rainey bouncing to the outside, and he got a yard, maybe 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 21. And the clock continues to tick.
And by the defense for Middle Tennessee, they're daring you. They're saying we're not going to let Bobby Rainey beat us right now.
Western Kentucky uses its 2nd timeout. They have 1 left. Middle Tennessee all out of timeouts. All right, Jay. 3rd and long. Ball on a 28-yard line. You're looking at about a 45-yarder. The kicker struggled from that range. You throw here?
Yes. But I would have thrown it on 2nd down, too. Now, you can have conservative play call selection. Wide receiver, bubble screen, let him run to the middle of the field. At this point, I'm not throwing to get a 1st down. All I want to do is get 7 or 8 yards at this point. So there's a difference. You know that as a quarterback. So you can run a clear-out route. Have 3 guys go downfield. You sneak up somebody across the formation to pick up 7 or 8 yard gain just to increase the percentages of your field goal attempt.
Willie Taggart and his Hilltoppers 0-4 in the season. Looking for that elusive first win. Tied at 23. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers on 3rd and long. And a flag before the play snapped.
They moved on offense, knowing how to win.
Before the snap, false start, 76 offense. Penalties 5 yards, 3rd down.
So that backs it up to the 33. So from here, it's about a 50-yarder. To get a 1st down, they've got to get inside the 10-yard line. So you're thinking probably to feel safe, you want to get it at the very least inside the 25 here. Jakes is going to run. He gets to the 30, and he's taken down. 4th down coming up. Western Kentucky has the one timeout, so they can let the clock run all the way down, call timeout, and set up a field goal.
And that's how big that last penalty was. They had the QB draw called on the previous play when they got the false start, but they moved it back 5 yards, so all Jakes was able to do right now is gain that 5 yards that they lost on the penalty.
And the Hilltoppers use that timeout with 2 seconds left. Tinius has missed from 48 and 46 tonight. This is a 47-yard attempt, Jay.
Yeah, and they want to keep it on that right hash because both of his misses have been wide right. So what they're trying to do now is say, okay, if you've got a kicker and you put him on the right hash, they got a tendency to pull it before they'll push it. So good job with the play selection, running the ball up the middle. You've got the ball on the right hash. Maybe Tinius can get a little draw in there on the stroke.
So Tinius, who's already missed 2, has a chance to deliver Western Kentucky's first win of the season. Middle Tennessee, though, known for its ability to block kicks. In fact, Middle Tennessee, in its past 30 games, 15 block kicks, 9 field goals. Tinius from 47 to give Western Kentucky its first win of the season. Kick is blocked. And we're going to overtime. Omar McClendon got his hand on it, 85 in black. And we're going to overtime here in Murfreesboro, tied at 23. "60 minutes decided nothing." Both Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky seeking their first conference win. In Western Kentucky's case, they're also seeking their first win of the season. We will go to overtime. There'll be a coin toss. Winner of the coin toss can choose whether it wants to play offense or defense or which end of the field it'll be on. Each team gets 1 possession from the other team's 25-yard line per overtime until the winner is decided. There is no game clock, only the play clock. If we go to a 3rd overtime, extra points no longer valid. You have to go for 2, which might not be a bad thing given the kicking game that we've seen tonight from both teams.
You know, you like to say advantage to the stronger team that's got the best kicker, but nobody has confidence in their kickers right now. Probably take a touchdown to win this.
Middle Tennessee has won the toss. So overtime about to get started. First overtime game for both teams this season, although both teams have had their share of close games. Middle Tennessee, every game has come down to the last possession, save for a blowout loss to Navy. Or rather, Georgia Tech. It was Western Kentucky who lost to Navy. You see Western Kentucky 6-1 all time in overtime games.
Both teams have, 500 or above records, which is pretty good overtime track. So, I guess the key is did Coach Taggart have an opportunity to tell his team there are a couple plays to be made in overtime, too. He's got to rally the troops, give them a quick pep talk.
Middle Tennessee won the toss, so they elected to defend. So Western Kentucky will have the ball to start overtime. Most teams, when they win that toss in overtime, would rather have the ball last so you know what you have to do to win the game.
Yeah, whether or not you need a touchdown or a field goal to win. That's what everybody seems to do. And it goes back to, I think, that last drive. We got to ask ourselves, did Western Kentucky play to win?
Yeah.
Or did they get conservative? I think they got a little too conservative and the penalty hurt them.
Jakes to throw. First play of overtime. Going long and too far. He had his fullback, Kadeem Jones. And that would have been a touchdown if he had him.
Oh, wow. That's a throw you got to get back. Kadeem Jones going right up the seam from the fullback position. They don't even know where he is on the football field. Ball's thrown too high. Great effort by Jones, but, oh, that's one that you wish you had back. Great play call.
Rainey past the 20. He's got a first down to the 13-yard line. 12 yards on the play. And Western Kentucky now in striking distance.
What a great job by your senior running back, Bobby Rainey. Quarterback comes out, throws an incompletion on first down. They have the confidence in you to run the ball on second down when you think they've got to be throwing it, making defenders miss. Yards after contact, picking up the first down, weaving. Bobby Rainey.
34 carries in the game for Bobby Rainey and still going strong. 2 tight ends in the game. Jakes, end zone, tipped and incomplete.
The pass intended for Jamal Brown. Incomplete.
Jamario Brown, the intended receiver, and again, Western Kentucky. We've said this throughout the broadcast. 6 of their last 9 conference games, they've had the lead or have been tied entering the fourth quarter. Had the lead in this one. Closing the game out. That's the next step. There's Rainey again on second down. And he's going to be stopped shy of the 10-yard line after a gain of 3. So 3rd down and 7. And remember, Western Kentucky's kicker has missed 3 field goals in this game. Now, all of those beyond 45 yards. But you would imagine that's still playing in his head.
Yeah, but you think they would have to take the field goal because you've got a Middle Tennessee kicker that hasn't been strong as night as well. And the Western Kentucky defense has played outstanding football. I think you got to give your defense a chance to win the football game if they can't score a touchdown here or get a first down.
On 3rd and 8, Jakes to Kadeem Jones, and it's 1st and goal.
He's been making play after play all night. Watch this ball thrown a little bit low. Watch him go down, get it, catch it, lean, get the momentum forward in order to pick up the first down. Had he gone down at initial contact, he would have been short. But that second effort, that body lean and momentum, Kadeem Jones has played a great job from the fullback position.
Ball at the 2-yard line. Jones right up the middle. He's going to be stopped short of the goal line, 2nd down. Jones scored the first touchdown of the game for Western Kentucky from about the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tight in there. It's kind of surprising to see them go with that heavy bunch personnel, bringing everything in tight.
But this is where Western Kentucky has done well. Close, West Coast offense. You could pound it through. Middle Tennessee, on the other hand, struggled in these goal situations. Ooh, two tight ends to the right. Now a lot of movement up front. And we've got a flag.
No, he didn't get the timeout call. Well, this could be big. You would think the coach would see that happening, and he can go over to the official and call timeout.
Timeout is charged to Western Kentucky. This is a 30-second timeout. This is their only timeout in this first overtime series.
So Western Kentucky did get the timeout before the play clock expired.
And that's a great job by a young coach, not getting caught up in the moment. Your quarterback's not paying attention to the play clock. You've got a fancy formation going. clock's running down, run over there, grab the official, and you call the timeout. Take it off the quarterback's hands.
Rick Stockstill's got to be thinking enough of these close games.
This is one here, you know, I think if they're going to continue to go with the heavy personnel, you want to give it to a back with some momentum.
Bobby Rainey.
Turn around, get a ball to Bobby Rainey. Let him follow Kadeem Jones. That's been a good combination all night long.
Let's make some noise.
They need a yard to find pay dirt. It's Kadeem Jones over the pile and into the end zone. Touchdown, Western Kentucky.
Kadeem Jones has the carry.
And a flag at the end of the play.
Touchdown.
Why would any team jeopardize a penalty at this stage of the football game?
Now, if this is on Western Kentucky and it affects the point after, hang on.
The touchdown is good. After the play was over, we have unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. Number 32 offense and 96 defense. The foul's offset. Try.
So that was Jones and Kendall Dangerfield getting into it after the play for Jones, his second touchdown of the evening. He scored the first touchdown of the game for Western Kentucky. And if the point after is good, it'll be a 7-point Hilltopper advantage. Tinius nails the point after. It's 30-23. So Middle Tennessee will have a chance now to tie it up.
Yeah, they overload the line to the right and just give it to their big fullback who's played a great football game. He gets all 255 pounds up in the air. And just a little trash talk. A little trash talk between competitors. That happens sometimes. Good job by the officials not, you know, penalizing one team more than the other and allowing the game to be called and determined by the field of play, not by verbal altercations.
Kadeem Jones has had a nice game, the fullback, the sophomore.
Been active, catching the ball out of the backfield, lead blocker for Bobby Rainey.
Jones 3 catches, 36 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Meanwhile, Rick Stockstill, he's seen this movie before. 3 games, decided at 13 points. Middle Tennessee in its season opener lost to Purdue, had a field goal blocked late, lost to Troy by 3, beat Memphis on a touchdown with 11 seconds. Sancho McDonald.
Oh, wow.
How about that? One play, the little bubble screen. He goes in from 25 yards out. And now Middle Tennessee a point after away from sending this to double overtime.
A good job because he slips, and I thought the knee was on the ground, but he got up off the ground and some arm tackling there, then a little stutter step in and out, and if you blink, you missed it.
30-29, Western Kentucky. Ginger Awant for the point after. He missed one earlier. Snap, kick, and it's good. We have double overtime here in Murfreesboro, 30-30, Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. So Western Kentucky took its time going the 25 yards. Middle Tennessee needed just one play.
Number 22
Tied at 30.
One overtime's not enough?
Not enough.
Take 2.
Now remember, once you get into a third, no more extra points. You got to go to 2. 2-point conversions mandatory once you get into a third overtime, but we still have to get there. Western Kentucky 0-4, trying to get that first win. Certainly working for it. Middle Tennessee, they got their first win last week against Memphis. They're trying to get their first win in conference, as of course are the Hilltoppers. Saturday's college football menu on ESPNU. Georgia Tech home for Maryland. The Yellow Jackets undefeated. Paul Johnson, it's not just the triple option. They still use it, of course, but they got a little bit of a vertical passing game this year.
Hey, Paul Johnson is Paul Johnson. Their bread and butter still going to be the run.
It's still the
you
option.
can play him for the pass if you want to.
But they're throwing it a little more this year.
And they'll run for 400 yards on you, but they are doing that. And, a little bit more accurate quarterback, a little bit better thrower. So it'll be very tough to knock off Georgia Tech this season.
Pittsburgh and Ray Graham visit Rutgers. Bama home for Vandy. Trent Richardson and the Tide, number 2 in the nation. 2 straight impressive wins for them. Arkansas and Florida back-to-back weeks.
What jerseys are the Terps going to wear? So, all athletes are superstitious. I'd go back to wearing the flags. They wore the flags
ones
on
that worked
national
against
TV.
Miami.
They worked against Miami.
Labor Day. A lot of fans are exiting.
Smart. No, they're going to the student section. So they were on the far
section.
right.
Okay.
So the student section was on the right side of the stadium. So now they're going to where all the action is on the left side. I like educated football fans.
Look at this. They know where the good seats are.
See, Western Kentucky needs to have their fans, which are right now out of the game, walking over here, taking up some of these seats.
Middle Tennessee gets the ball first here in double overtime. Run on first down. D.D. Kyles picks up 6. Kyles shaken up earlier in the game. Had to leave the game in the fourth quarter. Back in now, and Kyles closing in on 100 yards as well. He's up to 90. William Pratcher, the other running back, over the century mark. First down, Middle Tennessee. That's Bia on the far sideline, wrestled down by Ryan Beard.
We talk about seeing that movie or that record before. How many times have we seen Middle Tennessee get the ball in the red zone around the 10-yard line and not have the ability to punch it in? With the lack of the red zone running game hampering them.
Another run, and Kyles gets inside the 10-yard line. Arias Wright brought him down 5 yards.
And take a look here. They got a lead blocker there. And good downfield blocking, body on the body. The Blue Raiders showing some toughness in the trenches.
One more time to Kyles. And he gets to about the 7-yard line, a yard, and it'll bring up third down. Big third down for Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, for that run there, Western Kentucky made the adjustment, went to their run blitzes, which they've had success with all night, and were able to stuff that run. Look for them to do the same thing here.
You said this earlier, spread offenses, when they start to get close, becomes tougher to score.
It does, and that's why you have to have a go-to wide receiver. And Middle Tennessee is more wide receiver by committee.
Amos has been the go-to guy in this game.
See, there are no running lanes for him right now. So now they got to check off to find a pass, and this is where you go to
Play
your number one wide
clock down
receiver.
to 2, and now Rick Stockstill calls timeout. So Rick Stockstill was trying to signal to his team.
This is their only timeout of this
And the
overtime
Blue Raiders
series.
end up using their one timeout in overtime. Well, if it comes down to kicking field goals, Alan Gindrow's had some trouble. That was a point after that was blocked. 35-yarder that he hooked. He did connect from 22, and that was a field goal which tied the game at the time at 16. Gindro, he's just had, I guess you call it in golf, it's the yips. 3 for 8 on the season, including tonight. Last year he was 10 for 12, and he hit a 55-yarder, which is not only the longest in school history, it's the second longest in the history of the Sun Belt Conference. So you're talking about an all-conference caliber kicker who just has not been able to get on track here in the early part of the season. Of course, Middle Tennessee would like to get 6, 3rd and 4. Kilgore throws, end zone, incomplete. Tyree Robinson knocking it down, and it's 4th down. And here comes the kicking unit. We're talking a 23-yard field goal attempt here by Gindro. He's missed from 35 and hit from 22 in this game. Kick is up and good. So Middle Tennessee with a 3-point lead in Western Kentucky. They talked all week. They talked before the game about having a chance to win the game and playing to win. They'll have a chance to win.
When you get that close now, can the defense come through for you? You know, for Western Kentucky, no easy task either. You gotta like the chances. If you can put the ball in the end zone, you score. But first and foremost, this is that time when you gotta remind your offense, hold on to the football. We can't afford a turnover. We've got to protect the football at all time. And so often we see young kids make that second extra effort and the ball come loose.
Offset eye, Rainey, the deep back. Jakes will throw. Going. And it's incomplete. Intended receiver Dexter Haynes. Wanted Haynes inside the 5, so it'll bring up 2nd down.
Wow, high-risk pass. Safety made a break on the ball just a step late. So they came over and delivered a little whop on Dexter Haynes right there. You like to see your quarterback go with a little bit more sure throw on 1st down. And every play they've called in overtime on 1st down has been a pass.
Yep.
Not once have they come out and run the ball on 1st down, which is a little bit surprising. And their trend has been throw it on 1st down, run it on 2nd down. Let's see if that holds true.
They're going to throw it on 2nd down. Jake's in trouble, and he'll have to throw it away. Omar McClendon pressuring the quarterback. So 3rd and 10. Now, if you run the ball, you set yourself up probably for an easier field goal attempt. What's the call here, Jay?
I think you got to throw it. You got to try and get a 1st down. There's no guarantee your kicker's going to make a field goal from here. He hasn't shown the ability to do it thus far.
They'll run it. It's Rainey. He's got some room. Rainey, a 1st down inside the 15-yard line. Bobby Rainey.
He wanted it. They had him bottled up, and look at the patience by Rainey. It's not there. He's looking. It's not there. Oh, it's there. I got to get down. And he picks up the 1st down by a foot.
36 carries, 139 yards for the senior.
3rd and 10, draw play. Are you kidding me? Gutsy call.
1st down now for Western Kentucky, seeking its 1st win of the year. Down 3 in double overtime. It's Rainey. Breaks the tackle, still on his feet. And he gets to about the 7-yard line, a gain of 7 yards. Jawan Fennell made the tackle.
Look at this determination. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but not going down. Changing directions, bouncing off of tacklers, or I should call them would-be tacklers. Bobby Rainey showing you why many think he'll be playing football in the National Football League.
Over 140 yards, getting close to 40 carries and showing no signs of slowing down here in the second overtime on the road in Murfreesboro. Jakes will throw on second down. He's got Rainey in the flat. Touchdown, Western Kentucky, and the Hilltoppers have their first win of 2011.
Get the ball to your playmakers with the game on the line in overtime. Bobby Rainey showing you why he's the reigning Sun Belt Player of the Year. Running the football, getting out the backfield. You're going to see Rainey right here on your right. Just sprint, outflank him, make one guy miss. That's a touchdown. That's just speed. This is a speed out. He's got it. Turn around, look for the ball. Defensive back fell down. And you see the coach Taggart celebrating how sweet it is.
And Coach Taggart high-fiving some of the Western Kentucky faithful who made the trip, including the amorphous blob that is the Hilltopper mascot. First win in 10 games when leading or being tied going into the fourth quarter. It's less than 100 miles from Bowling Green, Kentucky to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But for the faithful who made the trip, they got their money's worth. A double overtime victory by the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, 1-4 on the season. Coach Taggart talked about closing a game out, having that winning mentality. They showed it. It took 2 overtimes, but they got it done.
Yeah, they couldn't get it done in regulation, but his message resonated with them throughout the overtimes. They got it done in double overtime. Congratulations, Hilltoppers.
Once again, our final score from Floyd Stadium: Western Kentucky 36, Middle Tennessee 33. The following has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jay Walker, I'm Anish Shroff. We're saying good night from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now let's get you to Sports Center U with Dari Noka.
This is Sports Center U.
What a big game for Western Kentucky. Conference win on the road. Big thing. Bobby Rainey, by the way, 146 yards rushing. With that, we welcome you in here, Sports Center U in Charlotte. Dari Noka, Jason Sehorn, and Charles Arbuckle. And guys, I mean, you know, there's an entertaining game going on over on ESPN as Oregon's starting to kind of pull away from Cal. But what we had here on our air tonight, that's entertainment. That is big-time football entertainment with a double overtime performance.
And the suspense of it all, this field goal, so you get to the overtime situation, you're wondering to yourself, okay, it's not a given at this point in time from what we've seen the previous 60 minutes. You don't assume the PAT or the field goals are going in. But Rainey right here was the star for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, he was, Jason and Dari. I mean, finding ways to get down the field and come up with just, it was unbelievable to watch him play at that last drive. He was Mr. Everything.
That 3rd and 10 pickup on the first down, that's what sealed this win for them.
Again, 37 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown. He was a workhorse. By the way, Jack Doyle, wide receiver for the Hilltoppers, he went over 100 yards as well. All right, let's send it back out now, shall we, to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Bobby Rainey, the star of tonight's Western Kentucky win.
All right, thank you very much, Dari. Bobby Rainey, who scored the game-winning touchdown, down on the field, joins us. Bobby, 37 carries. You also had 6 catches, including the game winner. How do you not get tired?
Well, that goes from in the spring and the summer. All the run that we do and all the reps that I have in the spring and the summer, and it pays off in the game.
Coach talked all week about that winning mentality, closing out games, finishing off an opponent. What was the difference late in this game and in overtime that allowed you to close out Middle Tennessee for the win?
Like Coach always told us, we believe in each other and play for each other, we'll come out with a victory, and that's what we did.
Take us through that last play, the game-winning touchdown catch.
Well, it's a play called rally. I read the corner, and if the corner goes with our tight end Jack, I keep going, and then if he sits, I just it becomes a wide hitch. And I see him left the corner, so I kept going up and keep him over, threw it on the back shoulder.
Well, Bobby, you ran the ball well all night. You also threw the ball. But talk about that gutsy effort when they called the draw play on 3rd and 10 in double overtime. What was going through your mind?
It's getting the first down. Well, basically get to the end zone. That's the whole thing that was in my mind, and I wasn't going to let anybody stop me from doing that.
Bobby, what does this win mean for not only your coach, but for your program as you guys try to build a winning mentality and a winning tradition?
But like you said, this game won. It's not for us. It's for the fans. They've been behind us since we've been losing, and then they've been behind us when we was winning. So this game is bigger than the players. It's for the fans.
Western Kentucky getting its first win of the season, its first conference win of the season. It took 2 overtimes, but the Hilltoppers win 36-33. Bobby, congratulations on a great game. 37 carries, 146 yards, and the game-winning touchdown reception. Bobby Rainey, all-conference running back, joining us here in Murfreesboro. Again, the Hilltoppers victorious in double overtime, 36-33. Let's go back to Dari.
All right, guys, thank you much. All right, so